Vulcan Soapbox.
It's your show, Vulcan. Come on, man.
What's the deal, good people out there? We got an exciting show for you today. Sorry, I was trying to post Facebook ready. But yeah, we got an exciting show today. This is part 2 of what was a very entertaining and a little heated at times conversation we had last week. So I'm excited to do it on the Vulcan Soapbox where we thinking we want to have a good time. We want open-minded, so we'll talk about anything. We can give everybody a chance to get their stuff off. So we'll start off by introducing the panel here before we get into the subject matter. So, Enos, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Enos, I'm on the ones and twos, man.
Yes, sir. Chaotic Truth in the building.
What's going on, man? How you guys doing? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, man, I'm just here showing support to Enos. Salute to you, man. Thank you for the invite. Positivity is definitely coming you guys' way.
I appreciate that, big dog. T Reason in the building.
T Reason, the Reason. Trying to get to that one truth. Trying to come here and speak some facts. That way we can get on one accord. Try to get some dialogue going.
Yes, sir. We got Dane in the building.
Man, I can't believe this is my 3rd trip, man. We're going to have to stop meeting up like this. Folks going to start rumors about it, man. But yeah, I'm Dane Snyder. I'm here, and I'm happy to finally be here. And if I shout out my channel, that's Dane Snyder. Like you see that name right there in the red orange script. It's Dane Snyder 8950. I don't know why YouTube won't let me get rid of them numbers, but that's my life. Come see me.
Yes, sir. And then salutations, Wade.
How's it going? I'm Wade. It's my 2nd time here. I'm ready for it. Let's see how it goes tonight.
Yes, sir. And we got the coach himself putting us in the game. What's good?
Already. Hey, Coach Andre here, Houston, Texas representing, life coach, business coach, just here to add some value and learn something from these brothers.
Yes, sir. All right, Enos. Let's take it away. We're going to get into the subject matter, y'all. So this one right here, was there a video for this one right here?
Not for this one.
Okay, so yeah, so the question is, does white or black privilege exist and what should be done about it? We're going to start off with T Reason.
Yes, it does exist.
White or black or both?
I guess to a degree, both can exist. This is an interesting question. So I definitely, after thinking about it, I think both can exist. And then I guess we'll get into it in a minute about what should be done about it.
Okay, Dane, does white privilege exist? Does black privilege exist? You're on mute, Dane.
Man, look, I've been practicing hitting that Command D to unmute. Man, I can't help it, man. I don't believe, where America's privilege exists, I don't think it's delineated, separated, black, white, yellow, green. We're all lucky to be here.
All right, Mr. Chaotic Truth.
Yeah, they both exist, and there are benefits to both of them.
Okay, Wade.
I agree with Chaotic Truth. They both exist. There are benefits to both.
Okay, and then Coach Andre.
Yeah, they both exist, and there's benefits, and then there's the opposite for both as well.
Okay, so I think we got a lot of agreement on that one right there. So T Reason, kick it off. What is your thoughts on black privilege and or white privilege, whichever one you want to speak to, and what you got on that?
I definitely think that both exist. I think that there are certain things that white people can get away with doing that black people don't, and I think there's things that black people can experience or black people can do that white people can't do. Especially when you're talking about race. When you're talking about race, you can see historically, there's been privilege throughout this country that have been afforded to white people that black people didn't get those privileges until later, after, many years of, slavery and different things like that. They had to work their way up to be able to vote, to be able to purchase homes, to be able to attend certain schools, to be even allowed to be in certain environments where it was originally separate, where there would be signs that say whites only. you know, and then you fast forward to today, there's a lot of structure that's already been in place because of those parameters, you know what I mean? As far as like bank loans, business opportunities, you know, land ownership opportunities, all of these things existed, and coming full circle, I think we should strive more toward equalness. I think we should strive more. That's the reason why we have a thing called equal opportunity. I think that regardless of color, people should be given equal opportunity. That's why programs like DEI are important, because they create a level playing field for people to have an opportunity. When you give people more opportunities, it creates a better chance for people to be able to have that same privilege that wasn't afforded to them. On the subset of that, you know, when you look at hip hop culture, there are certain things that a Black person may be able to do within the confines of that culture that was created, that certain white people may or may not be able to do. And that's the only thing I can think of as far as like the difference between white privilege and Black privilege. But what should be done about it is we should strive toward an equal playing field where everybody can have a seat at the table and everybody can have a voice, and people can't be denied based on solely the color of their skin.
Gotcha. Okay, and I'm gonna go on to everybody, give everybody a chance to explain. After that, we'll start any kind of cross-examination. So, Coach Andre, what you got on that?
Oh yeah, I agree with what my brother just said. Everything is pretty much on point on that. They both do exist, which is the whole reason why I even had DEI. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a thing. And there's a lot of racial profiling that still takes place because those that be are the powers that you can't see. They don't look like me. And that's something that I've been saying for quite some time. The world is ran by a few individuals that don't look like me, which is the reason why things are in place to keep it as such. And the moment that somebody tries to infiltrate or change that is when consequences and repercussions start to be. So how can we change that? I think it would take those that are in power to actually be open to relinquishing. I don't want to say relinquishing that power, but it's sharing some of the privileges that they do have. But they first have to admit that there is something going on first. Because if you can't admit something, you can't be aware of it and then take accountability and accept what is, then you can't change anything. So it starts with awareness, accountability first.
Cool. You I was going to say you still got like 20 seconds though.
That's all I got.
All right, Wade, what you got?
Well, like I said at the beginning, I think they both exist. I disagree that I don't think DEI is a solution for anything. That's just a new form of structured racism. And that's not good. So we shouldn't be looking to cure the problems of racism by being racist in a different way. I think that's wrong. We should work to remove any structural inequalities that exist. But to my knowledge, the structural inequalities have all pretty much been eliminated. I can't think of anything where Black people are legally not able to do the same things that white people do, where it's built into the structure of the system. Can you find individual acts of racism? Of course you can. And that's where white privilege and Black privilege come, is from individuals allowing certain things to happen. So an individual cop can let a white person go with a slap on the wrist instead of a speeding ticket. But that's that individual cop doing that. That's not the law saying white people get to go free on speeding tickets. And so while white and Black privilege both exist, I don't think the way to remove them or resolve them is through structural racism, which is what DEI winds up being.
All right, Dane, for yourself. You on mute, Dane?
Mute, Dane.
Still on mute, Dane.
Man, I'm trying my best, but I'm old, man, and I'm fat too. As I said in my opening response to this, I think we're all privileged. The poorest person in this country, and in the West in general, but in this country, is very wealthy on a global scale. But it's just like It's human nature that no matter how good we have it, we're always looking to what we don't have. That's human nature. It started all the way back in the garden. All they had to do was walk around naked. They didn't have to work. They didn't have to hunt for food, clean food. They just living in unity and peace and harmony and everything. And it wasn't good enough. No. The woman believed the lie, the original lie that said, if you eat of this fruit, you can be like God. And here we are. She wasn't happy with that. She wanted to be like God. And so there's that insurmountable level of utopian greatness that human beings are still looking for. They want to be better. And so when they can't, they look to other excuses and reasons, and they say, well, it's because this person, that person, the other person is holding me down. And when it comes to this question, when you begin to delve into some details, some actual evidence that is specific to one race or the other, then the conversation breaks down and things start being said like, well, privilege is invisible to those who have it. And that's like asking someone if they're still beating their wife. There's no way to falsify it. There's no way to prove it. That's that feminine poetry that says it's true because I say it's true, but you can't show evidence for it. So that's what Dave Man says.
Yes, sir. And chaotic truth. What you got, my man?
Well, privilege by the definition means a special right, advantage, or immunity granted to a person or group, often beyond common benefits stemming from law, status, and social position. It could also mean an advantage, a benefit, entitlement, birthright, concession, freedom, liberty. The way I look at white privilege, to start off, white privilege is the ability to be on time, to master time management, to master order, to be an individual who's held accountable. That's their privilege, or that's the privilege of white ideology, to take accountability. Black privilege, on the other hand, is I can be late and you have to accept it. That's my privilege. I am free to be as late and as incompetent as possible and brag about the shit. So you can see both aspects of privilege. They're just ideologies. They're just an idea base. One of the smallest examples is I can have a business and have a menu, and it could be a chicken spot, and you go in there and I may not have chicken, and you better not say anything to me, because if you do, I'll just say, why you tripping? Why you tripping? So to me, that's black privilege. The idea that I can be as rude as possible. I have to say this, man, I'm going to be completely honest about it. Nobody deserves DEI. Nobody deserves to be treated equally. Men conquer, men fight. And the reason why whites have privilege is because their ancestors fought for them to have these privileges. I'd rather live in a society where we will have to build our own institutions instead of being given handouts by these people. So that's the privilege that I see from both sides, to see one group of people who are begging to be a part of this society and another group of people just saying, why don't you build for yourself? So it's always going to be this continued. That's good. That's good.
I want to give
we definitely tried that. We definitely tried everything he said.
Teresa, go ahead and you go ahead and respond to what you heard, and we'll extend it out from there.
Yeah, I think it's so convenient to have this conversation. I think a lot of the responses we're getting, they're coming from a place of, well, here we are now. And all these programs that took place, they took place because it was a necessary action at that time to create a balance to a system full of imbalance. So if you look at the system itself that they're trying to say is an equal playing field is the problem. You look at ICE right now, and we see clearly they're targeting a certain group of people. You can see the very system that they're saying doesn't exist, the very privilege they're saying doesn't exist, on full display right now. We see it on display right now in HD. but everybody want to act like nothing is going on right now. They act like these programs that we had weren't necessary. They love to attack DEI, but they forget the whole reason why DEI took place in the first place, because blacks weren't allowed to vote. Blacks weren't allowed to maintain jobs. You can't put food on the table if you can't get a job. So the whole reason why we're saying what we're saying is for equal opportunity. It's also equal representation. Do blacks have equal representation in this system in America that they was drug into, that didn't have a right to say whether they wanted to be here or not? So there's a reason why reparations became a thing. It's a reason why all these conversations that we had for many, many years, and we still continue to have today, these people now all of a sudden want to say, oh, it's unnecessary. Oh, it's not needed. Well, for the guy who just spoke, if what you say happens, it would create a war in the streets. That's not what I want to see in America today. But you're trying to create an even deeper divide where there already is one, where we've worked to actually lower that divide to actually integrate. So what you're preaching right now is disintegration.
Hold on,
and we tried that with Black Wall Street.
Go ahead. I want Chaotic Truth to be to go ahead and respond to that, and after Dane as well, then we'll go to Coach. So go ahead, Chaotic Truth. You want to respond to that?
Oh no, I don't have a response. Well, I do. I do. The only response is real men seize the day. Real men create and build their own institutions, and real men protect their institutions. And if you can't capture the flag, then you're always going to be at the whim of another man. And so, I hate to say it, but the black man has failed to create that privilege. He's failed to create a real view based on what he believes. So, it's really deep. It's more than a 2-hour conversation, man, but it's the little things that we don't have in the black race, man. We don't even control any institution in America, man, to be honest with you. We don't control steel. We don't control textile. We don't control the lumber industry. We don't control anything, man. We don't even do shipping and logistics, man, with other black populations around the planet. So we're so far behind, man. The best thing to do probably is to live in a world where you want to be a part of white privilege. So it begins with speaking. It begins with etiquette. It begins having a real view based on a white Western world or white way of thinking, to be honest with you. So that's my rebuttal to the panel.
All right, Dane, go ahead, Dane.
See there, my mic's off mute too. I'm learning. We can say all this about DEI that we want, but let's make no mistake about it. DEI, the letters themselves stand for diversity, equity, which is not the same as equality. Equity has to do with equality of outcomes, not opportunity. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. For the sake of diversity, equity, and inclusion, not for the sake of accomplishment or anything along those lines. DEI is a matter of saying because a person belongs to a certain disenfranchised group, that they should get this job over someone who doesn't, and they call that equality. I don't see that as equality at all. So that's kind of where I come down at it. When I was in the 3rd grade, the elementary school I went to, you had to be in the 3rd grade to go out for football. I went out for football. I was at about my 3rd or 4th practice, and they did this hut thing where you got to bend over, and I didn't do it fast enough. When I stood up, I was a skinny kid back then. The coach was standing looking at my face all ugly. He wanted to holler at me and tell me all this kind of stuff. I knew right then I ain't cut out for that. That was my last football practice. I waited for my mama to come pick me up. My choice. We got it up at high school. Them ugly, stupid, they had no game football players was getting some women. I couldn't turn around and complain. I could have put in the work from the 3rd grade, but I didn't. So when I got up here where it would have benefited me, because I didn't put in the work, then I missed that. Well, I didn't miss that. I just had to have a better game. But you understand what I'm saying. And
for sure. Let me go ahead and get Wade in here. What you got, Wade? Dre, you next.
Again, I don't think DEI is the way to do it. I think that equality of outcome isn't equality. Equity is a farce. It just doesn't work. And when we do that, all we're doing is kicking the can down the road as to the next batch of who's going to be in the underachiever Olympics and who's going to win. It'll be the group or groups that are left out from DEI. It'll be those groups in 15, 20 years saying, hey, it's not fair. We haven't been given the rights. And they'll actually be able to say it's structural inequities because it is the rules. If DEI is implemented and DEI is followed, it will be the actual rules that make it so that they can't be seen as equal. And so we're just kicking the can down the road. We need to just open it up, make things as equality of outcome or equality of opportunity as possible. And the outcomes will sort themselves out.
All right,
Gotcha.
we have
Can
comments.
I respond to
We got
that?
some comments.
I need
Hold on, we got some
to
comments.
respond to that.
Yeah, we got some
All right,
comments
Black-
from Lord Gray and
Yes,
then
comments from Black. Was this a Black 9? Black people has always been great. It's the it's the niggas that who get all the negative attention. Shout out to Black 9. Also got a question for T Reasons. Do Black people have that now? T Reasons. Questions for you for your last comment.
So this is what Dane said is the problem. A
Hold
lot
on,
of people.
hold on. We're going to be address what Dane said, but I think he wanted you to address the comment.
Yeah, well, what he's saying is the problem, man. What he's saying right now, that's what a lot of people keep perpetuating, but it's not the truth.
Okay, well, let me go ahead and go to Dre real quick. I was going to give you a chance to respond to that comment, but let me go and go to Dre, and then you'll be able to respond. T Reason.
All right.
Yeah. So I remember I came across this video, right? And it was a video. White guy was doing the video, and it was a video. What he did was he took all these people of different races and he lined them up, and he said, "Okay, guys, we're gonna race." And then when he said, "Before you race, if you were raised in a household without a father, I want you to take a step. I want you to stay where you are. I mean, take a step forward. If you were raised in a house without a father, I want you to stay where you are. And the ones that were raised in a house without a father, I want you to take 2 steps forward." And then he gave another scenario. If you were raised in a household where you never had to think about what your next year is going to be, I want you to stay where you are. If you never had that struggle, I want you to take another 2 steps forward. And he named all these scenarios. He said, "Now we're going to run, but before we run, I want you to take a look back and see what experiences other people had to go through before your race begins." So we all run in the same race, but there are some people that had to run further and over more roadblocks because of a system that was put place for them. So you can say, well, you have all these opportunities, but in order to get to those opportunities, I have to face roadblocks, speed bumps that were not there for others, and I'm already behind. And it was a great depiction for what is actually going on right now. We were already placed behind. There's another white guy that read a book. It was called How White Folks Got So Rich. That book is a game changer, and he breaks down about how much trillions of dollars was already placed before you. Because if I start with 0 and you start with 100 grand, who's already ahead? The first millionaires in a Black household are usually first generation millionaires. In other households, they're 3rd, 4th, 5th generations. As money gets passed down from generation to generation, not only does the money get passed down, the information gets passed down, the knowledge gets passed down, the experiences get passed down, the habits gets passed down. We're just now learning about life insurance these past 10 years, which has been systematically kept from our community. So it's not just about the opportunity, it's about the systematic oppression that's been placed over a certain group of people for quite some time.
Got you.
All right, we got some more comments. So I'm gonna get some more comments. Shout out to John White said this. Shout out to John. Also, Jason said, of course, don't ask why dad is not at home. I'm just filling the words. Why next meal not known? All right. Shout out to Jason. Oh, one more. We got okay. Oh God, this is another. Oh, okay, another Linwood. All right. Go ahead, T Reason.
Yeah, T Reason. Go ahead.
Too many times I hear guys repeating Wade and Dane's talking points because they really don't like DEI. And this is the problem that I have, because they don't understand what DEI stands for. DEI, which stands for diversity, equity, inclusion, does not seek to elevate minority groups over others, but rather make sure marginalized people are not being discriminated against or excluded from certain fields. Diversity refers to the variety of communities a business or organization is able to engage with or work, whether they've been comprised of different races, genders, age, religion, or veteran status. Equity refers to fairness, such as ensuring equal pay for equal roles. Inclusion refers to workplace culture, ensuring employees and other contributors feel they're involved in the company decisions. So that equity part is not what you originally stated it is. That
I'd
equity
like to
part
respond.
is
That's
so that way
exactly what
equal
it is.
pay is established
That's what it is.
for people who get the same position. So that way you don't
that's
see
right.
white people getting promoted up, but they have the same exact qualifications as a black person, but the
wrong with
black
white
person
people getting
never
promoted
gets
up?
promoted up.
All right, so
That's
yeah, go
what
ahead.
that's for.
Dane or Wade, when y'all started off, then we'll go with the other one next.
That's exactly what it is. It's like that little cartoon goes around on social media from time to time. Got three.
I just told you what it stands for right now.
Let him finish.
Can I talk? You had plenty of time to read your Google search right there
Because I want to get the actual real definition instead of what you keep on saying that it is.
Fellas,
Actually,
one at a time.
calm down, stop spurging. I mean, I would like to have a back and forth, but when you start hearing the truth, you start spurging out.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
Okay, thank you. I'm hoping so, man. I'm hoping. Anyway, it's like this cartoon that goes around on social media from time to time where there's a baseball game and there's these black children and they're different heights and some of them can't see over the fence. And so they say this is equality because everybody's got an equal chance to see the ball game. But of course, the little short kids can't see the ball game. And then they put some boxes underneath the shorter ones so they can all see the ball game. And they say this is equity. And that's true. Equity is you stealing your view of the ball game because you can't afford to get in and you don't want to sacrifice and work hard enough to get the money for a ticket. So you peeping over the fence with a box. That's what equity actually is. It is not equality. It's equality of outcomes. And that's just the truth. And you can't provide any evidence. Get back over there on your Google thing and come up with your answers to give me an argument for why anybody is entitled to a job or anything. See, at the foundation of it is that feminine mindset that someone is entitled to something simply by virtue of the fact they're still sucking air and have managed to not die in their lifetime. You're not entitled to anything.
Hold on, I want to give Wade a chance to get in there too. Wade, you got something you want to say?
Yeah, T Reason pointed out, he read all the stuff, and sure, that's the that's the PR version.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not PR nothing.
Well, hold on, I let you talk. So that's the PR version of what DEI is supposed to be. That's what they say it's supposed to be. And sure, that sounds wonderful, but the programs that actually get put in place are not that. The programs are white people get picked last or can't get picked, period. White people absolutely, the Asian kids are getting not picked for college because blacks and other minorities have similar scores, not even the same scores, similar scores. And then the minorities are thrown in there instead of the Asian kids. Asians actually feel a lot of this DEI stuff as negative because they wind up getting the same short change that the white folks do. And that's primarily in the school realm that we can see it happening quickly because we get very detailed reporting every single year from every single college on how that works, right? But every single time a DEI policy gets put into place, what winds up happening is that it's not ensuring an equal opportunity for the minority. It's disenfranchising and intentionally pushing down whites and Asians in the school categories.
All right, wait, hold on, wait. I want to go and bring Chaotic Truth in here real quick, and then T Reason, you go ahead and respond to them.
What's the question?
Well, just if you had anything, you know, in light of what T Reason or Dane.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, if it were up to me, I would eliminate DEI. I would really tell non-white men, man, you got to build for yourself, man. You got to build your own institutions, man. Nobody's giving you a handout. Nobody's taking care of you anymore. The planet is huge, man. It's 1 billion of our people on the planet, man. It's 1 billion Black people on the planet. We don't even have to operate under Western civilization if we don't want to. Look at the Chinese and look at the impressive inroads that they've made. Look at Shenzhen. Look at Shanghai. Look at all these mega cities that these people are building over there. Look at their infrastructure that they're building. You know, DEI is BS, man. To be honest with you, man, I don't want to get too much into the topic, man. But men should build for themselves and do for themselves, man. We can still trade with each other, of course, but Africa, man, has so many opportunities for Black people, man. You'd be surprised, man. But that's just me and what I think about DEI.
All right, T.
Well, I have a lot more than that, but yeah.
All right, so first we're gonna start off with Dane because he went first. He tried to make fun of me for going to Google, but the last time we had a back and forth, he said I didn't have any site to back up my claim. So now I have something to back up my claim, to where it's not just me talking off the top of my dome. Now he want to try to point that out. So I take a slight to that. But the whole purpose of the program is so that way people who are qualified get the job. It's not for people who are not qualified. So get that out your mind and stop saying it's for people who are not qualified. It's giving opportunity to people who don't deserve it. That's not what it's for. Now that may happen because the white power structure in place is making sure that happens. So that way people like you don't like the program. But that's what the program was intended to do. So what we need to do is fix the program, not scrap the program. So we got to stop talking about scrapping something that has an actual purpose. Now the execution, that's coming from the white people who are in power, and their execution is bad. So I can't help the execution of it, but we can work on it. We can work toward that. We can fix the problem. But it's not toward taking away from, it's actually giving access to the people who deserve the access. You have to have the qualifications and you have to meet the requirements first. So I would challenge you to actually look into DEI and understand that it's actually based on merit. It's actually based on that performance of that person, not basically based on, oh, well, we don't have enough Black people, let's slot another Black person in. That's not how the program works. Then I want to talk to Wade. Wade, you said a lot about how it's taken away from jobs from the white community. I need to see some examples. I need you to provide me some links or something that backs up your claim, because right now that's just a mute claim, because I don't think anyone on this panel has heard anything to that degree or seen anything to that degree. So you need to look at the totality of the situation and not one small example. Because a lot of times what happens is, instead of looking at the average, the median, you find one example where that happened at one small, university or one small sector, but you don't look across the playing field and say, look, all of these communities are undervalued, but they have the qualifications. Okay. So that's where I want to go with you. And then the last guy, I understand what you're saying, but we're far from there yet. Now we're here now, so we got to work with where we're at. Until you have those institutions you keep talking about, we got to work with where we're at. It's a reason why we all the brothers before you fought, so we have what we have today. It's so nice for you to sit there off the backs of people who worked for you to be able to have the opportunity to even be on a panel like what we have right now.
That's the
so I think that we got to be real careful with what we say.
All right, cool. T Reason, go ahead, Gray. What you got on this? You got anything?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so
I got some.
We'll close that one out, and then
no. Hold on.
Okay, go ahead, Wade. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. I would like to respond.
I didn't say anything about jobs. Pretty much the only thing that I was talking about was education, because that's where we have the longest history of these DEI type policies, and the places where they get implemented the quickest, and because they're already the education sphere is already fairly liberal. So these types of policies get implemented quickly and exactly the way that they are wanted to be by the ones who are in charge of DEI in general and whatnot. And what we see is situations like in every single Ivy League school where they've been pushing Black kids getting in with the same or similar scores or even lower scores than white kids and Asian kids. What winds up happening, and we've seen this in every single Ivy League school, you can look that up, they're failing at record rates because they shouldn't have been in the Ivy League environment in the first place. Their grades and stuff in high school and their performance in high school was not the level of performance that it should have been to get into the Harvards, the Yales, the Columbias. They shouldn't be there. And as a result, when they get there, they're finding, oh, it's way too hard. And they're failing out at record rates. And this is, you can look that up on any website, Google it all you want. It's going to be there.
What's interesting about you saying that, Wade, is I remember reading something from Thomas Sowell or listening to him speak. I can't remember which one it was. And he was talking about how when he entered the Ivy League and he was studying, or he was going, he was basically just doing what he had to do in school. And I guess a white student, I don't know if it was a roommate or not, noticed his work ethic and let him know, like, hey, look, that work ethic's not going to make it over here. And right. Thomas Sowell was saying that I could take that as a form of racism. He goes, but that transformed my life. And, right. Thomas Sowell is considered one of the greatest intellects.
Yeah, he's amazing.
In the Western world, if not the world. So, and one thing he attributed to was somebody telling him, hey, look, the level of rigor here is on a different level than where you come from. So you're going to have to adjust.
Exactly. And Ivy League schools, all of them had these programs because they do want, look, everyone wants it to be an even playing field.
Well, hold on, wait. I know you got some good points, but Dane, you said you want some
yeah. Too? Yeah, I got plenty to say, but I'm gonna try to distill it down. It's good that you're doing some research too, Reason. That is good, because I did say that to you in our last debate panel we were on, as far as doing some research to know what you were, actually talking about. So that's good, but typically that's done before you get on the panel. And you do enough of it to where you have a sort of a mastery of it, not to where you're having to look over there and read it. But that is
an by example, brother. You don't have it either.
Can I finish?
You don't have it either.
I absolutely have it.
You don't.
But at any rate, if I could finish, if you control your emotions for just a few minutes. Okay, so that's good that you're doing that. And when I told you that last time we talked on a panel, it's because I'm a man. You're a man. That's how men typically interact with one another, and that's how we built Western civilization. That's how we continue to maintain it, expand it, and protect it. That's how men evolve with one another. Like iron sharpens iron, one man sharpens another. That's what I was doing. So I'm thrilled to see that you're actually taking something and moving forward with it. Okay, but I was not insulting you, making fun of you. I was just stating the facts that you were over there reading an internet search. But let me make my point, and that is this. When you wanted to make a part of your response to me to tell me about how you took offense or whatever it was, your feelings, I'm a man, brother, especially in situations like this. I don't give a crap how you feel about it, because I'm here to sharpen iron. I'm here to call men to do their duty. And so I don't care about your feelings. Chaotic Truth up here, this is my first time seeing him anywhere. But what he's talking, that's some man stuff. And when I called you to actually do some research, that was a man calling you to stand up and be a leader, be a patriarch in this civilization, and make sure you know what you're talking about. And it don't have to agree with me. But being part of being a man is you not walking around worried about how you feel. You do your duty regardless of how you feel, and you darn sure don't go to other men talking about how they hurt your feelings. So I think that's indicative a lot of what you're complaining about, the position in life of a lot of people who have not accomplished what they want to accomplish, is they're worried about their feelings. And men, people who accomplish, even women, they work through the pain, they get her done, son. And they don't make excuses or blame other people for their failures.
All right, T. Reason, you got a minute. Do your thing.
Yeah, Dane went on his emotional speech just now. I heard a lot of feelings in there. But basically,
you ain't hurt my feelings, brother. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, see, and now he's interrupting me after he just told me not to interrupt him.
He's been interrupting.
He's not leading by any example.
That's hilarious.
He's not showing any kind of example at all. So
I'm not here to show an example for you.
Instead of me speaking factual, which is what I did, he never provided any proof. He never provided any research to all his claims he made. So I'm providing proof and research to the claims I'm making, but not a single claim you've made have you provided any research or proof behind. So when you're saying that you should have this stuff ready and prepared before you get on the show, you don't have anything ready or prepared. So you need to lead by the example. If you're going to say something, practice what you preach, brother. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not here to bicker back and forth with you with this. I know you are, but what am I? Why am I not here to do that? Because I'm a man. But I don't have to have some research to read off of Google to tell me that water is wet. I've been a man, an adult man, for about 36, 37 years. I don't need a source to cite to know what manhood is. When I was 19 years old and became a father, I didn't know a thing about being a husband or a father because I was raised like a lot of young men are raised today by a single mother. And my mama said, I love my mama to death, but she said, it don't make no difference what you do for a living, Dane, whether you're the president or a ditch digger, as long as you're the best ditch digger there is. It took me about 3/4 of the way through my 20s before I realized that was bad advice. But that's how
Dane, let me go ahead and we've had our fair share of arguments about whether water is wet. So here,
he's asking me for.
Unfortunately, we've had that
normal life stuff, man.
Yeah.
All right.
You had some questions. You said, some comments.
Some comments. But everybody that's tuning in, make sure y'all like and subscribe to the channel. I want to go ahead and say that. Shout out to, come on, guys, hit the like button. But Vulcan, you mind reading these comments?
Yeah, I wouldn't say people just found out about life insurance in the past 10 years. 15 years ago, I was in school and a friend's mom passed away and they got life insurance checks. What else you got? A community builds itself up according to its values. Nobody withholding anything from anyone. It's about showing up, working hard, being respectable, trustworthy, earned through consistent actions. DEI didn't earn it. Saying that's what it stands for. You here, Bubba. I should have been reading the names out. My fault. The John Watts. I think non-racist white men don't understand the setback Black American men faced where this topic is even needed. Like men knowing how a period feels. We'll never know how it feels.
Can I respond to that?
Yeah, I'm sorry. John Watts. I think you already have, but John Watt, education is based on tax and city lines. People coming from nothing, not given the same options for growth. Took years to get here. It was never equal footing. LOL. Help the Bear says, dang, fellow ditch digger here. Hello. Uncle Tigers got the face. I don't know what that's called.
Yeah, them little smiley faces look just like Uncle Tiger. I look, he looked like
that one was that was just pretty heated up. Let's go and get to the next one.
Hold on. I got one last point to make.
Hold on. Yeah, okay.
Hold on. I got one last point to make.
Take a quick 20-seconder because we got way more to get into. This was the warm up.
Dane, I think you were still in that ditch, brother, because your response was way off topic. We was talking about DEI, and your response had nothing to do with DEI. You took it whole. You made it about being a man as opposed to staying on topic and responding to the DEI factor. That was not even in the topic.
Agreed.
What you responded with.
Two things, and I'll shut up.
What you responded with was not even in the topic.
Two things, and I'll shut up. Men don't need DEI. Okay, so that's the bottom line. Number two, and I'm a hush for Mr. John Watts talking about what non-racist white men don't understand. I would like for him to tell me everything he knows about what I understand or don't understand without making a racist appeal to me being white. That's what I'd like to hear, an objective argument
out there, John Watts, if you're hearing out there. All right, so let's go and get the next video. To be continued on that one.
Well, it's not just being a Swiss Army. Code switching is not just being versatile. It's not just being a Swiss Army knife. It's that you're forced to compromise who you are and speak in other ways in order to survive. And the reason we're so good at it is because we haven't had a choice. And quite frankly, to become successful in this country, especially early on, you have to play a game where you have to make white people not uncomfortable of your blackness or your queerness or your womanhood. And the people who aren't good at it, you always wonder what happened to them.
Yeah.
And then it's because they were not willing to play the game.
You know, for a very long time, that was, honey, they could have taught me code instead of tab because that's how I lived my life. I realized I learned it at a very young age, watching my mama answer the phone and switch her voice when she talked to bill collector. Right? Something that simple. Or when we were out in the store and when, you know, white women or men spoke to her, she would speak different.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we got the question up. So we'll start off with chaotic truth here. Have you ever had to code switch for racial, cultural reasons or had someone do it to you? And, you know, so yeah, go ahead and say yes or no for both of them or whatever, and then give like a 1 minute explanation.
I have, but I don't really look at it as code switching. I look at it as I live my life from the Western perspective. Western civilization breeds decorum and high level communication skills. So I speak proper English, or I try to speak as the King's English as much as possible in every setting, because there's codified words, there's meaning, nuance that's universal. And I would implore many people to speak proper English. So code switching is really, to me, a person living in rebellion in a subculture, or a person living in a subculture who has to come to face a fact that the greater world operates in a understanding of civilized decorum or communication skills, if you will.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Perfect time right there. Okay, T. Reason for yourself. Have you had to somebody code switch to you, and then explain it?
Yeah, you know, you want to be relatable. You want people to understand the information that's coming across, and you know, when it's wrong, you do as the Romans do. So yeah.
And is this a racial? Because the question is about like, is a racial, more racial or cultural, ethnic kind of code switching? Is it you talking about like in a racial context?
Right.
Okay. You got anything more on that, or?
Yeah, I do. I thought we were just going around answering the question first and then elaborating.
Okay, you got a minute to go ahead and say.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, you know, you might be in surrounded, you might be ingratiated in like Hispanic culture, and there's a lot of Hispanics in the room, so you might adopt, you know, you might say something in Spanish, or you may present yourself in such a way where it can resonate a little bit more. But it's just also an easier way for people to understand what you're saying. Like in a sales environment, you know, people be able to keep up with your pace of words, because you may use a lot of slang in your normal everyday talk, but you're not going to do that, you know, in a certain environment. So obviously, you know, you'll code switch in that for that reason. Or even when it comes to school or in a job, you know, they're going to want you to speak and act in a certain manner, so you may use it then as well.
Okay. So. Okay. Wade, what about for yourself?
Well, I agree with T-Reason in that, because I used to also work in a sales environment, and so yes, I've had to code switch for that reason. When I'm in a customer's house, I tend to talk to what I perceive their cultural deal is going to be based on what I hear and see from them. When I was a kid, I lived in an area that was predominantly non-white. So when I would go to friends' houses, I would say my tia instead of my aunt, or I'd say, you know, or I'd pronounce things differently because I was in a Hispanic household instead of the household that I grew up in, right? And yes, I've had people do it to me too, where I can tell that they're switching it up because they see me as being the white guy, so they speak in a lot more formal King's English type of situation. But then I hear or see them talking to someone else, and there's a lot more slang involved or whatnot.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I've both done it and had it done to me.
All right, Dre, Coach.
Yeah, I would say the same. I've done it and had it done to me, but not really extreme because my mother was an English teacher, so I always taught pretty proper growing up, and got teased from it actually. So uh, I've learned to start using more slang if I really wanted to. If I'm around, I have a Caribbean background, so if I'm around Jamaicans, then I tend to use a little bit more of that. If I'm around, sometimes in my profession, I may be around Caucasians. It may be a little bit more polished, but it's not a huge difference or disparity for me. And I've had it done to me. I remember I was out and about. There's this guy. He was a white guy. He was talking to some other people. He sounded regular. He started talking to me. He started cursing a lot, and I don't even curse. But he just, I guess he just assumed that I did. So yeah, I would say that I've done it and I've had it done to me, and it's one thing that's you want to be relatable to others, so I can understand it.
Gotcha. All right, Dane, how about for yourself?
My. You know, my mother was a hairdresser, and she was a single mother, and she called it her beauty shop voice, and we all made fun of her because she could be at the house chewing out her kids, me and my brother, you know, chewing them out, yelling, hollering, carrying on. The phone rings. She answered the phone. Hello? Yes, this is Eileen, and all that sort of stuff. And you can believe that when I'm dealing with my clients in my business, which is a sales-oriented business, that I speak to them, if I don't already have prior relationship with them, differently than I do now. I mean, that's just human nature. I mean, we're social creatures, and it's an ignorant person who says, I'm going to talk however I want to talk, and if they don't like it, that's fine. And then they remain usually on the bottom economically and socially, and then they'll blame it on other things, you know, whatever. But the intelligent man understands, and T. Reason said this earlier, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. What I don't understand is why it is that code switching, if I didn't even understand what it was the first time I heard it, but doing that somehow or another got considered by segments of society as something that was oppressive to Black people, you know, particularly.
Let me step in real quick, Dane, because you're hitting on exactly what I want to talk about next. And so sorry to interrupt there, but I wanted everybody to be able to address that part as well. So, but everybody is pretty much on the same page on the panel. They're saying that obviously if you're, you know, customer facing or just to interact and, you know, have social mobility, monetary mobility in this world, Western world, you've got to be able to switch up your lingo, your vernacular, your jargon, depending upon the demographic that you're targeting. And we all, I think we understand that. In this video specifically, it's about oppressive. It's oppressive. And that the people who weren't able to achieve what they achieved, whatever industry they're in, look like they're actors or something like that, while they're not able to achieve, people that didn't achieve what they achieved, it was because they couldn't code switch or didn't code switch to get there, and it was an oppressive thing. And so I want to give everybody an opportunity again to speak to it. I'm first going to go around and ask the question, do you believe that code switching or having to code switch at times is oppressive? And I'll start with UT Reason.
Not necessarily. I wouldn't agree with that.
Chaotic Truth for you?
Not at all. No.
Yeah, given what you said before, Wade.
Nope.
And Coach.
I'm gonna say no.
Dane.
I'm gonna say T. Reason need to stop saying stuff I agree with. That's unnatural. He need to make up his mind. He's gonna have to be for me or against me or whatever. No, not at all. Well, if you want to, okay, you can say it is oppressive, but human beings are oppressed by nature that's out to kill us anyway. But as far as oppressive to one demographic or another, I don't think so.
Okay, well, yeah, so we're all on the same page, but nobody seems to agree with the fact that it's oppressive to have to code switch at all. So, you know, I'll share a little quick story here. I was watching a video earlier, and it was Blake Griffin on a podcast with Sam Ariel and Mark Norman. I always get him and Norm Macdonald mixed up, but Mark Norman, I think his name is something like that. Two comedians, and Blake Griffin's on there, who's biracial. He's white and he's Black, his parentage. And so they were saying, hey, look, you know, do you have to do the code switching thing that you're biracial? And he goes, well, I'm getting ready to go on Carmelo Anthony's podcast. So you're going to see a very stark difference between my personality talking to y'all. And then when he goes on Carmelo's podcast, so he even makes a point to say that you're going to notice he's going to be different in his body language and how he communicates and the slang that he uses. So that's a very common thing to everybody's point. I don't waste more time on this once we all kind of on the same page about it. Enos, what we got next?
Here with allhiphop.com. So, peace, y'all. It's your boy Johnny Fastlane here with allhiphop.com. So, who is a culture vulture? Dame Dash coined the term years ago when he was specifically talking about one person, Leo Cohen, who he had a lot of business dealings with at Def Jam Records, right? Since then, the term has really taken on a life of its own, and a lot of people are blamed for being culture vultures or entities themselves, right? So like Taylor Swift has been blamed for being a culture vulture for using hip-hop elements in her music. I mean, even State Farm, the company, the insurance company, have been accused of being a culture vulture for having like Ludacris in the commercials or whatever the case may be, right? But really, this is a deeper question about Black.
So yeah, everybody, I just want to make sure everybody's a little bit familiar with culture vultures and what that is. And so I want to start off with Dane this time on here. Dane, are you familiar? What is a culture vulture to you? And what was the question? You had the question up. I think what is a culture vulture and how do we recognize them?
Well, I suppose a culture vulture, according to this video, is someone who uses or partakes in or what enjoys or celebrates or practices or whatever, something that some nameless, faceless authority delineator somewhere in the cosmos has decided belongs to some other culture, and therefore they think it should be a gatekeeper deciding who gets to use it, who does not get to use it. So that's what according to that video, but I've heard arguments and seen things on the internet where people get upset if white people got braids or dreads or whatever. I agree with you. I wish white people didn't have braids and dreads because I think they ugly. I think they nasty. But as far as they shouldn't have dreads or whatever, that actually comes from the Vikings. But I don't care. I don't care nothing about that. The Scotch-Irish culture, which is what I am, what's thought of today is Black culture was actually appropriated from the Scotch-Irish. So, I mean, if we want to go down that road, but I don't care. I don't care whatsoever. The Adidas that was in that picture that whoever was holding, the Adidas shoe came from the Schnauzes. Okay? So how is that somehow, cultural appropriation or whatever? I just think it's silly. I just think it's an attempt to grasp at straws to say this is my identity or whatever. I just think it's a way to try to artificially make oneself seem more interesting to others.
Got you. All right. Coach, what you got?
So, well, what is the question regarding it first?
The question is, what is a culture vulture and how do we recognize them?
The culture vulture to me is a person that utilizes a culture other than their own to gain and benefit from. That's the only reason why, is because they're trying to gain a benefit from. How do you recognize it? I don't think it's always easy to recognize, because there are some people that are indoctrinated into the culture because, number one, they were raised around it, or number two, they really enjoy the culture and what it stands for. I remember hearing a story about Jeremy Lin, who got, I think it was dreads or braids or something to that degree. I think it was dreads. And because he liked the culture. And Kenyon Martin had something to say about it. And he took it online. Jeremy Lin responded and said, man, I see what you said, man. But here's the thing about it is, man, I look at it as I didn't say anything about you having a Chinese tattoo on your arm. I take it as a sign of respect. So it's like one of those things where you can't always depict somebody's intentions as to why they're doing something. So
got you. For interesting study. I mean, actually, interesting. Before Jeremy Lin went to the league, his agent went to my church. And so I wasn't there that day, but they played ball with Jeremy Lin before he made it to the league. And, they always told me how good he was.
I heard about that. I heard he was used to playing ball and killing over on the north side. I heard about that.
Yeah. He came out to San Antonio a few times as well. But yeah, so, all right, Wade, what about you for yourself? Oh, we got comments. Go ahead.
All right, Wicked Dreams said Democrats, at Dane, Democrats are culture vultures. Funny. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, Wade, what you got on the topic?
Well, I think in order to figure out what a culture vulture is, we have to agree that cultural appropriation is a thing, and I don't agree that cultural appropriation is a thing. I think culture is meant to be shared, and there are very few cultures that care if you use parts of their culture. It seems to only be in the United States where cultural appropriation is even brought up as a thing. People in other places don't care about it at all. And I don't think that we should pay much attention to it at all. Because most of the things that it usually gets brought up for Native American or Black stuff, right? So now your kids can't dress up like Indians at Halloween, and your wife can't have dreads or braids, right?
Thank God.
And so the thing about that is the oldest references that we have for having braids are from France from darn near 10,000 years ago. And the oldest reference we have of Black people wearing braids is from about 5,000 years ago. So for nearly double the time, white women in France have been braiding their hair compared to Black women, period. So, but yet braids are considered to be part of Black culture. But so if a white woman in France wears braids now, she gets accused of being a culture vulture, even though it was her culture that invented the darn things.
Got you. Okay, Wade, that's good. Okay, chaotic truth. What you got?
I'm going to use some choice words here, but I don't like jigaboo rap music. I think it's a disgusting art form, and it needs to be thrown out in the waste bin of history. So some stupid whites or stupid Arabs or whoever want to appropriate it, hey man, have at it, man, because you have to be a goddamn idiot to absorb that kind of demonic energy, man. Same thing with this, street slang and any other aspect of Black culture, man. I say, hey man, me as a Black, I'm happy when I see fools pretty much appropriating the degenerate aspects of Black culture. You know, the other day I was walking in my beautiful city and I saw a building, and the building is, I can't think of the damn name of the building, but it's in it's Art Deco. It's an architectural style that's not in use anymore. I believe it was only they were doing a lot of Art Deco. I know in Chicago, I know they have an Art Deco district in Miami, but this building was Art Deco, beautiful building. I want to appropriate that culture as a Black, as Blacks. I want to appropriate classical music as Blacks. See, that's what I want to focus on, man. I don't think there's anything wrong with being a culture vulture, but you know, I have to agree with Wade here, man. It's always this weird negative connotation when Blacks are viewing it. Oh man, they're stealing our culture. What are they stealing? Ignorant ass rap music? Who cares? Who cares, man? Why don't we adopt their oil can? I was in the art museum the other day, and the European art was just so fucking beautiful, man. I mean, the oil canvas paintings, man. I mean, my God. I mean, and I'm like, well, why don't Blacks incorporate that? Why don't we culture vulture that? You know, we are too focused about other groups of people stealing rap music. Who gives a shit? Give them rap music. Give them that poison, if you ask me. But go ahead, guys.
It has been detrimental to the Black community. Chaotic truth. I've said that on this panel before, I believe, but if not on my own channel, that it glorified and romanticized the dregs of society. You know, single motherhood, gang life, poverty became something to look up to. But let me ask you this, Chaotic. What about Teddy Pendergrass or the Whispers? Can I have them too? Because I love me some Teddy Pendergrass, some Whispers, some Anita Baker. Man, that's what I grew up on, man.
We gotta keep Anita Baker in the Black.
Okay, what about? Oh man, what about Teddy? Because we're not gonna start rumors on me, man. But come on, the Whispers, man. They had two twin brothers singing in a family group with this natural harmony. Come on now.
Yeah.
Well, hold on, y'all. I think the people want to hear right now is T Reason coming to the building.
Man, y'all don't want to hear me, man. They done opened up so many cans of worms. I can't even remember everything I wanted to say right now.
Get the fire.
I really disagree with a lot of what Chaotic Truth is saying, and I see why he goes by Chaotic Truth, because this man is chaotic. He's almost like downplaying black culture and upplaying white culture, and like he just want to switch. Like he almost like he wish he wasn't born black. You know what I'm saying? It just comes across that way with how he just keeps exalting their culture and like downplaying ours. Like rap is the only part of our culture. Like soul food isn't a part of our culture. Like R&B, rhythm and blues isn't part of our culture. Like we don't have great leaders and we don't have great representation for black culture and what black culture means. Black is something to be proud of, just like white is something to be proud of. You know, there's many accomplishments that black people have accomplished that only black people have accomplished. And you're taken away from that when you deny the fact that half of the stuff invented in America was created by black people and stolen from us and giving credit to somebody else. And that's exactly what you're doing when you start speaking your chaotic truth. But honestly, culture vultures to me are a menace to society. We should do away with them. Their platform, they should be deplatformed, or they should be mass unfollowed, like kind of what's happening to Nicki Minaj right now should happen to every culture vulture on the planet. Because it's not the code switching that's the problem, because culture vulture is like the ultimate form of code switching. But the problem is when you make a mockery of the very culture that gave you the platform, that's when you're a culture vulture. When you're clearly not invested and you clearly are doing it for a monetary gain, and you would throw that same culture away the minute it no longer suits you or no longer benefits you. And you, in this whole entire panel, is acting like clowns don't exist. We got clowns in every facet of society, and those are not something that should be looked up to or pedestalized. But when you have a culture vulture, to me, that's the greatest form of a clown. Tekashi 6ix9ine is the first example I could think of right off the top of my head of the epitome of a culture vulture. You see what I mean? Because he kind of weasels in and out of these conversations and weasels in and out of these rooms, and he appropriated a culture that's not his culture.
Well, let me go ahead and cut in real quick, T-Reez. I want to make sure you got enough time because I know your view is the dissenting view. And then we're going to go to you to Chaotic Truth next, but I think you want to get the comments out the way. Go ahead, Enos.
Just said, hi, Chaotic is based. And this is Gimpy that said this guy T-Reez is angry.
I'm not angry. I just talk like that. It just come out like that. Sometimes when I hear it, I'm just like, man, it's just my passion. I'm not really angry at all.
Nah, Chaotic Truth tune in to objective reality. T seems firmly and confrontational, rooted in subjectivity.
Okay.
Right. 200 years from now, 90% of this will probably won't even matter. Let's get
not even that. I mean, not even that little. That's true.
I
go ahead, Chaotic.
You can say that about anything.
One of the most beautiful cities I've ever been to is Madrid, which is in Spain. And I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I probably will want to retire there one day. The cathedrals. Hell, I went to Segovia, which is a city about 40 minutes on a train. There were aqueducts. There's an aqueducts 2,000 years old. The Romans built them. When what is now known as Spain was under Roman control. The palaces, the real palace of Madrid, the Baroque architecture, it's a beautiful architectural style. The Rococo designs, the ornament, what else? Classical architecture. You had Spanish Revival architecture, brother. Or to the panel, these people have created an incredible civilization. It's not me uplifting whites. It's what I can see what they've done. And, you know, I get it. Soul food, rap. These are things you mentioned. But, bro, when you see the scale of some of these cathedrals that were built 500-600 years ago, it dwarfs rap music. It dwarfs soul food. Bro, I'm telling you, man, we need to appropriate that shit. Roman architecture, classical Romanesque architecture. We don't have that. And I have to ask you a question, T-Reez. Can you name me a black architectural style? Because architecture is a part of culture. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely, I would agree.
Can you name a Black architectural style?
I would ask you, have you been to Africa? Have you seen the pyramids? Have you seen some of the things that are built all over that beautiful country? That's what I would ask you.
I haven't been to Africa, but I plan on going to Kigali next year.
You need to go, man. You need to go like yesterday.
Did you go to Africa before?
I've never been personally, but I've seen the architecture. But he's traveled. He's been to Madrid. I've never been to Madrid.
My.
What does that have to do with anything?
Chaotic. I'm used to being a loudmouth troublemaker here. So I'm just gonna sit here, sip my brandy, and let you take care of business.
Well, I mean, speaking of brandy, you know, even distillery. I mean, Europeans have been distilling alcohol for, I mean, generations, man. They have companies going back 600-700 years of a continuous. Yeah. So, yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say about brandy, people to nowadays in certain demographics, and I don't just mean black, I mean really people on the left of all colors make such a big demon out of capitalism. But brandy exists because it costs by volume to ship wine from Europe to the Americas, and they decided they could distill the water out of the wine, get it over there, and then when it got to the Americas, they could rehydrate it into wine. Why? Lower cost, more profit. You have brandy. Perfect example.
Yeah. So Wade, you got something you want to cover? Oh, we got some comments. Hold on.
All right, we got more comments. Ken, the truth is right. You should be a culture vulture with the best parts of each culture and do away with the bad parts of culture. Shout out.
That's true.
To, chaotic, get to the point, please, for God's sake. Sheesh. Shout out to Help the Bear. Blood Logo says, pyramid, laugh my A off. Then Hunter says, answering the question with a question, simply deflect. I think he's referring to UT reasons. All right, we'll get back to the.
Could I respond to the wicked dreams?
Yeah, go ahead, Dane, and then Wade, come on in.
About being a culture vulture for some things and not for the others. I've said probably more than people enjoy hearing, and even on this podcast here, I'm a proud Scotch Irish. Again, what a lot of people think of as the black culture today was appropriated from us. The Scotch Irish did not value education. They didn't value entrepreneurship. They were known to be sexually licensed. You know, they were brutal people. The Scotch Irish invented lynching, but they invented it to use on one another long before it was used as a terror tactic for black people. The Scotch Irish, there's a lot about it. That's why the English and the Dutch and the Germans and such called us crackers, because we were loud, we would partying at 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, so on and so forth. Now, I choose not to necessarily live like that. One author I read said to the Scotch Irish, my people, leisure was considered a virtue. Okay? I chose to not live out all of that, although I do like sitting on the porch and sipping a little whiskey and watching the sun go down, okay? So even in my own culture, and even in, say, what people think of as the black culture or whatever today, a wise man, a man, period, iron sharpens iron, will pick and choose what he chooses to live out on his culture based on how productive it is. The masculine mind is looking for the production, the results, not the good feelings that he feels included and seen and understood and heard and loved and validated, but rather is he producing something because he has a duty to take care of his wife, his family, his community, and continue to build and protect and maintain civilization.
Okay, Wade. Well, before you say something, Wade, what you said reminded me of in the Bible talks about Paul. He mentions the Cretans, and he says they are lazy, gluttonous people. Therefore, rebuke them sharply to make them sound in the faith. If I remember correctly, is the wording of it. But he was speaking obviously about them not genetically, but their culture, about lazy and gluttony. So he was like, "Hey, look, you don't have to stay on the bumper about this little bit to make them sharp in the faith." So you see that some cultures being corrected for certain negative aspects of their culture. So, Wade, what you got?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
All right, T Reason, go ahead, man. You got the floor.
I mean, I feel like I said everything I had to say. I don't like culture vultures. I don't think culture vultures should be rewarded with any type of mass followers or any type of attention. I think whatever they're.
Hold on, because you already said that already. I just want to, because what I'm hearing is two different sides of it. I got one group that's saying culture vultures doesn't really exist. It's not a real thing. And you're saying they are a real thing, and only they're a real thing, but they need to be, gotten rid of. So like,
right. Because the problem is that they make a mockery of the very culture that they're utilizing to gain a platform. So when you have a culture vulture, it's not that they're not appropriating the culture; it's that they're making a mockery and making fun of it, or they're using it.
Who wants to have a conversation with T Reason about specifically about this culture vulture thing? Okay, well, Dane, you got your hand raised, so go ahead. So you're on mute right now, Dane.
Man, look, I was on mute.
I don't know, Dane. I don't know who's a bigger antagonist for you, T Reason or the mute button right now. It's close.
No, the mute button doing its job. The mute button doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing.
Look, Vulcan, I know I'm big and gray bearded and very good looking, but I got feelings too, man. I got feelings too.
Go ahead, man.
This is my question. Yeah, because I can cut up to the whole podcast over with. Listen, my question, T Reason. You keep referring to this culture that you're saying that people don't need to be vulturing. What I want to hear from you, if you can, is what aspect of what you consider Black culture today is there in Black culture that is not also shared and practiced by rednecks like me that come from a Scotch-Irish background? What is it that is specifically Black culture and is not shared by because I don't believe white people exist. I'm Scotch-Irish. I'm different from the English, the Germans, the Dutch, and so on and so forth. Okay. So what is it about what you consider your culture that is not common with my culture?
Rhythm.
That's not culture. That's not culture. Rhythm's not culture. That's a natural.
Yeah, it is. It most definitely is. It most definitely is.
Is culture taught, or is culture something that you're born doing?
I think it's a combination. I think you need both.
But you need it to be taught?
I mean, it's going to be something you're born with, but you also going to, when you're in the culture, you're going to be taught it as well.
Let me help you.
See, your culture is very heavily on capitalism. So you were born into it and you were taught it.
I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. If you can teach rhythm, then what's wrong with teaching somebody without rhythm? You can't teach rhythm, by the way.
The only time it's a problem is when they're making a mockery of it. I was very specific in what I said.
I don't even know who mocks it, but give me something else. I'll grant that, okay? It's wrong, but for the sake of discussion, I'll grant it. What else is there?
Well, I want to say this right here real quickly, if I may. So, T Reason, you said that there are culture vultures that need to be gotten rid of. Dane, you're saying that you believe there are such things as culture vultures?
Me? No, I'm doing an internal critique on T Reason's what he calls an argument over here. When I ask him to point out things that he thinks of as Black culture that are not common with a vast majority of white people who come from a Scotch-Irish heritage like I do.
Yeah, I gave you some examples.
No, you said rhythm.
Yeah, y'all lack rhythm.
Okay, I'll grant that. I don't believe that, but I'll grant it. So,
well, let me see you. Let me see your rhythm. Then show me a little something, bro.
No. I've granted it. Okay, rhythm.
Because you don't have it.
Okay, so your entire culture is rhythm, or is there more?
No, that's just to break it down to the simplest term. Like that's to break it down in a way you can understand and comprehend it. That's for that was for comprehension. You're talking while I'm talking with you. Wait, let me answer your question. You asked the question. Let me answer.
Carry on.
So you asked the question. I had to portray it in such a way that you could comprehend what I'm saying. It's deeper than that, but on the surface level, that's the starting point. You can't go any further into the explanation without having a mutual starting point. We can both agree that when you do a comparison of black culture to Scots-Irish culture, you guys lack rhythm.
That's not true, but okay. But I will grant it. I'm not here to argue against that. I will grant it. What else is
Okay,
there?
they're different. I would say the rhythm is different.
Is there anything?
It's different. There's a different.
Can you tell me things that comprise a culture? I'm fat. Am I culturally fat?
Probably.
No. Culture has to do with cuisine, music, clothing, language, shared history, those sorts of things. So I've granted rhythm. You're wrong, but for the sake of the discussion, I'll grant it. What else is there?
I said style too. That's another one. Style. It's another one.
What style? You see this hat right here? You see this hat? That's called an Irish flat cap. Do you know what a peaky hat is? A peaky hat is what the character on Fat Albert, Rudy, wore. It's that big balloon looking hat. Okay? This hat, that's another one. Primarily when you're in public and predominantly black areas, you'll see the flat cap, the peaky hat, and this hat being worn. Go watch Sanford and Son and look at Fred Sanford's hat. That's a peaky hat. That's thought of as black fashion, but it came from the Scotch Irish. What else?
And hold on, I want to go ahead and let Caddick wanted to get in here really quick, and then T-Reez, you can go and respond to it. Go ahead.
Vulcan, how much time do I have?
You got a minute and a half.
Can I send you some money for 3 whole minutes for Chaotic? Because you know I'm excited to see what he got to say.
Yeah, go ahead. 2 minutes, Chaotic. Go ahead, man.
Vulcan, about 6 months ago, I said that a part of black culture as men is being hypersexualized. We think about sex all the time. And I gave an example. I used the shipping and logistics industry. So for example, you have Maersk, you have many different shipping companies, global shipping companies. And I said that the problem with the black man is we couldn't be out on those ships shipping goods across the planet. Not because we don't have the navigation, we can't learn navigation, this, that, and the other. The average black man can't go without sex. A lot of black men called into the channel and said, you know what, CT, you are correct. I couldn't be out there all day for weeks, for months on end with a whole bunch of dudes on the shipping container. And I said, that's it. White men typically have more discipline. It's a part of Western civilization. It's a part of their culture to be disciplined. That's an aspect of their culture. And so culture isn't just food. It's everything, man. It's a world view. So that's just an example, T-Reason, man. That's why, you may think that I'm uplifting whites. It's just me it's just an observation of what I see from these people.
Yeah, I still don't know how that example pertains, because that's a small example and it can probably be discredited when you start seeing if there's any black involvement at all on those ships. So you're basically saying that black men don't ever go on ships because their sexual appetite. I would argue the opposite. White males have an even worse sexual appetite in some ways. It's been proven throughout history. So, I mean,
I don't think
that's a moot point.
Go ahead, Wade.
Yeah, I don't think that, him saying, I don't think he said that no blacks are going on these shipping container ships. But I would imagine from his argument that he believes that a number of blacks that is not in concert with their numbers in society are going on these trips. So if globally 1 out of every 8 people is black, then you would think that on these shipping container ships, 1 out of every 8 guys should be black then, theoretically. But maybe only 1 out of every 20 guys is black on these shipping containers.
And it's a small example, but I would need to see the data. I mean,
Right,
it's
but
a small,
one
it's a
example
small,
out
it's a
of
small example. But
out
and
of
I'm not going to
dozens
sit
of
here and
different
say there's
cultures.
not problems and issues in any culture that need to be worked on. You know what I'm saying? So to over glorify one and put the other one down, that's to our detriment, because you can find aspects about their culture that is equally as bad. So I mean, it's kind of like, it's just dialogue at this point. He's just saying something and he's giving lip service and catering to them to try to make it seem as though their appeal is so much greater, and it's really not.
Chaotic, yeah. It's on you.
Well,
I'm making sure that T Reason gets his chance to say what he wants to say, because he is outnumbered right now on the panel. So I want to give him a shot as far as perspective goes. Go ahead, Chaotic.
Deep water, sea diving, cave diving, skydiving, mountain climbing. They have this adventure gene. That's a part of their culture, bro. So when you go to these different cargo companies, you're going to see more whites on these cargo ships because it's in their genetics, man. They have an adventure gene. We see it in every aspect of their culture. They are doing something to test the limitations of their own physical beings. Most blacks don't even know how to swim. We ain't about to cross the Atlantic on a boat. Most blacks don't even like to get on the goddamn plane. So, you know, it's deep, man. It's really deeper than you think, man. It's not just soul food, man. It's really deep, bro. It's just certain things that we're not going to do because it's not a part of our culture, generally speaking. That's just me.
If I could respond, I'm sorry, go ahead, Enos.
It's in the comments. It's not white folks don't have rhythm. They just bounce to the beat of their own drum.
No, a lot of white folk can't dance. Come on now, let's be for real.
Oh man! All right, shout out to Jay said T is at war. He takes all confrontational zero-sum game. Shout out to T Reasons and Jason. All right,
T Reason, you got something you want to add to that?
I mean, I don't think that the adventure gene is unique to them. I think we have it as well. I think we display it in different ways. I think that, you know, he has this obsession that he's kind of getting out over the time he's speaking. But I think that we've done a lot of great things in our culture. I mean, Black people have shown they can perform in any avenue that they've ever been in, any avenue of sports, any avenue of war, any avenue of anything. We have achieved great things and resided at and can compete and go toe to toe on any front we deem necessary. So I don't think that's a great example. I think he's got a subset microcosm that he's focusing on, but he's not looking at the totality of the accomplishments we've accomplished and what our physical capabilities are and what our mindset is capable of doing. For example, I can swim miles from the shoreline. You know, when I go to the beach, I'm the farthest one from the beach. So for him to say Black people can't swim, you need to look at the systematic oppression, brother. You need to look into why is it that Black people don't know how to swim. It's not that they're not able to physically learn. It's by design. It's been put into place. He opens up so many cans of worms that I can't even really go into one response to him because it would take a long time. We'd have to have a long, drawn out conversation for me to really get him to realize that he's falling into the slave master mentality of exactly where they want his mind to go. And he's not seeing the bigger picture of we are capable of anything we put our mind to. And it doesn't matter what it is. You can put us in a competition on any avenue and we're going to perform at the top. Whether it be fishing, whether it be exploring, whether it be deep sea diving, whether it be being in a submarine all the way in the bottom of the water. There's nothing that a Black person can't accomplish if they make the determination and the will to decide that they want to do it. And I've never seen an example that could prove me otherwise. I would like for you to give me an example that could prove to me otherwise.
All right, T Reason. Well, you on mute right now, Dane, but we're going to go ahead and Enos, if you got another video you want to get into.
First, I want to get to the comments. Who's this? Ashton Williams. Oh, shout out to Ashton. All right. Yeah. So it says, Health Bear said, I agree with Chaotic. Scary movies. Black people always say I wouldn't have went to investigate. Okay. There's a lot of these comments are coming in really fast. All right, so if Chaotic has the slave master mentality, then T is slave mentality. Absurd.
Mm.
All right, fellas, let's get to the next question.
All right, yeah. Next one. I don't think we really covered the culture vulture.
I don't think he understood what I meant by that, but that's fine.
One sentence. I know that
right.
you and Enos have real jobs, unlike me, who don't have a real job. But y'all need to hurry up and get successful so you can quit your real jobs and we can start this podcast at about 3 PM, man.
Yeah.
We got enough time, but I can still get my beauty sleep.
Yes, sir.
All right, next question for the panel. Does white or black supremacy exist? Why, where, and why? Let's start with the first question.
All right, T Reason, it's on you.
Yeah, it exists, man. You got entire groups that uplift white supremacy. The new name is white nationalists. But right. You know.
All right, okay. And what about the black side? Does black supremacy exist?
Side, that's what I was...
Yes, but to a lesser degree.
Okay. Wade, what you got?
Yeah, they both exist in the United States, and because people are stupid. Supremacy of any kind is stupid. So yeah, but yes, they exist.
Okay, and you kind of gave a where, and you even gave a why because it's stupid. Did you give a where and a why, T Reason?
I was just saying that, you know,
white nationalists. I heard that part.
White nationalists, a new example. But obviously the KKK, Proud Boys, Aryan Nation, Nazism, Confederatism, things of that nature.
Okay, got you. Okay, Chaotic.
Yeah, on both sides. Yeah.
Okay, and what did you say? Where and why?
Idi Amin was practicing black supremacy when he kicked out the whites, the Indians, and other groups of people when he took over Uganda. Jesus Christ, I can't think of the guy's name. He just died over in Zimbabwe about a couple of years ago. Anyway, he confiscated the land from the whites. You see in South Africa, Malema, who is the president of the EEF, they have 10% in the government, seats in the government. He literally is inside of a stadium saying K-word the Boers. Those are whites. So black supremacy can exist and white supremacy exists. But the thing is about white supremacy is we all benefit from white supremacy. I benefit from white supremacy. And I wouldn't want to be anywhere else at this point because white supremacy has created this great country. It is what it is, pal. You know?
Dane, on you.
My. Yeah, of course. Black supremacy exists and white supremacy exists and female supremacy exists. We call it, man-hating. Male supremacy exists. We call it misogyny. Misandry. Yes. And that sort of stuff. For the, whatever. Look, the third person on the planet killed the fourth person on the planet, his brother. That's human nature. It goes back to this question that I tried to cover back about in the question about privilege and then code speaking. People who are looking for a reason to justify their lack of accomplishing whatever it is they think they should have accomplished, they go about looking for reasons to blame it on. I had a man tell me back in the 90s when I was in my 20s, old gray-headed dude, he was a business manager at a car dealership I worked at. And he looked at me, he said, Dane, when a man is looking for an excuse, any excuse will do. And that's true. And I found out that's true in the 30-something years that's passed since then. When we feel small in our accomplishment level, our resume doesn't even fill up a page. Well, then we go looking for what is it? Is it black supremacy? Is it white supremacy? Is it feminism? Is it oppression of women? Is it whatever it is? At the end of the day, human nature is human nature. The third person killed the fourth person, and we've been trying to hold one another down since then. There is no segmented. You don't get your You're custom built to fit you. Somebody wanting to put you down and elevate themselves up. Black people have no corner on the market where white supremacy and white people with black, that's just looking for excuses.
Okay, well, I do want to point out. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we got some more comments. Shout out to John Watts. He said, I disagree with Chaotic. He's talking about people who didn't have the money or means to think about traveling, Gene. I think that was the last topic, I believe. Health the Bear said, T reasons white folks dominate investigation. Let's be real. How many bumps at night have you went to go check out? We might be just as good at it, T reasons, but we what he said? But do we want to do it though? Shout out to Help the Bear. Ashton, this dude, wow, he sounds like a phone sex operator. Wow, dude, man. All right, yeah, Dane, preach and blood logos. I'm messing up. Logo says I'm based. That was a comment from earlier. All right, Vulcan.
Yeah, so T Reason, is there anybody? Well, no, I remember I was going to mention. So T Reason mentioned about the white and black supremacy. He said that definitely on the white side, the black side, it's definitely minimal. Would y'all agree with T Reason that it's definitely disproportionately in favor of the white side as far as supremacy?
People are evil. We're sinful. If you will eat of this fruit, you can be like God. And eating of that fruit takes on a plethora of actual things to do that lives in us. And until we repent of that sin of wanting to be like God, we think we're supreme. We think we're so supreme that we think we're above God. And until we repent of that, we're going to continue trying to establish ourselves above the people who carry the image and likeness of God. It's the bottom line. It's not specific to any one group, demographic, gender, sex, political, persuasion, nationality, whatever. Like Joe Barber told me, a man looking for an excuse, any excuse will do.
All right, Chaotic.
I agree with T Reason. It is minimal. It's because our ancestors didn't seize the day. Had our ancestors seized the day and made black supremacy a global hegemon, you can bet your bottom dollar there would be no DEI programs. There would be no civil rights. And I'm just gonna be honest about it. If blacks ran the planet, I would prefer to hire a black before a white. I'm just gonna be completely honest about it. And I don't have a problem with white people. White people are the only group of people on the planet that are that compassionate to put other groups of people in positions of power, because no other group does this. Look at the Indians and look at the Indians. Look at the Chinese. Look at how all these groups operate. The Mexican restaurant down the street from me, they only hire their own. The white man is the only man with this level of compassion. Look at the Chinese. Look at how they operate. So it's a good thing that the black supremacy is at a minimum, because I'm willing to bet if it was at a maximum, we wouldn't be as nice as whites. Because look at us now. We're not nice right now to each. We're not really nice right now. We're not that compassionate as people. You give us power, shit. Man, it'll be Negroes' faces all over on statues. I'm telling you, man, we'd take those statues in Europe and put our faces on it. So, hey, man, I'm just gonna be honest. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, T Reason. Go ahead.
Man, black people are the most inviting people on the earth, man. Black people will give you the clothes off their back and the shelter that they live under. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people who have children tell their children if they ever get lost to find a black man, because they know they're safer in the confines of a black man over anybody else. So I totally disagree with what he's saying. And I think he need to wipe his lips after he get done talking, because after he done kissed up to the white nation so long, it's just like, come on, brother. And what I was originally trying to say is you have the mentality.
Back to what Corey told Anton. Go ahead. I was just saying Corey Holcomb
That's
told
what
Anton.
I was just thinking too. I was just thinking it's a good thing they in the same room. We have a replay.
Yeah. They have to get out the way. Yeah. Go ahead, T Reason. Go ahead. Finish cooking.
Yeah, I just feel like, man, like he's putting them up on this pedestal and he's saying all these great things about them, and he's omitting that we fought for these things. They didn't give us nothing. We fought for it. And he's like, oh, they have so much compassion. No, we fought for that, brother. Like you think they gave us a right to vote? You think they gave us a right to ownership? You think they gave us these things?
Yes.
It's like
Yeah.
no, they did not.
Yeah.
We took it.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, they did not.
I know that's what
White
you were
people
talking.
voting is what
I know that's what you were
White
talking
people
Wade,
voting
go ahead, let
to
Wade
give
go ahead
black
there.
men the vote. Just like white and black
When
men.
the Civil War
voted
took
to
place,
give women
we
the right
fought in
to
the
vote.
Civil War. We freed
them.
many slaves.
All right,
So
fellas.
it wasn't because y'all allowed us to do nothing.
Teresa,
They
let Wade
wasn't allowed to do nothing.
about to mute you.
No. Hold on.
Yeah,
Hold
go
on.
ahead,
Let me
Wade. Say
go
what you're
on
gonna
that.
say, and then Teresa's gonna be able to respond.
No. Absolutely, they were given the right to vote. The only way to get the right to vote is to have someone else vote to give you that right. You didn't win it in a war. You didn't go to war for the right to vote. Black men asked white men if they would allow them to vote, and white men said yes. And then women asked black men and white men if they could have the right to vote, and black men and white men said yes. But
I think they realized that the fallout they would have had they not voted the affirmative would have created more war and would have created more problems and more conflict. It wasn't given. It was not given.
More
It
war.
was given to you.
Absolutely would have.
It was given to you. It was not taken. Just like women did not take the right to vote. Women got the right to vote given to them by men.
See, I think the unfortunate thing in this situation, if I could throw something out, I think that what is really most unfortunate about this spot in the conversation is this. What Wade has said is strictly historical fact. And the problem that I think is tragic is that T-Reason over here is offended by what he just said, which is a historical fact. I mean, you can look at the look on T-Reason's face. That bothered him that Wade just said white men gave black men the right to vote. There's nothing that should be considered insulting or belittling or anything about that fact. Because
it's nothing wrong with that fact. It's when you try to make it seem like that's the only reason why we're where we are today. It's not.
The only reason you have the right to vote is that white men worked alongside of you. The civil rights movement. Who would you say were
exactly? So worked alongside of you means that we took a part in it. So right then and there, that's all I'm saying is we took a part in it. It wasn't like they just did it on their own out of the kindness of their heart.
That wasn't what you said.
That is what I said.
You said
we fought for it. Okay. Everything I said was correct.
Who would you say were the leaders of the civil rights movement?
Obviously, people in the North.
No, obviously not. It's not obvious. It takes academic study of history. No, it were the people that we might refer to today sometimes as like most of them Ashkenazi. Okay, when you look at
where were they located?
You look at the people who were coming up.
Where were those people located?
Coming up with the speeches, coming up with the strategy, the political connections. It weren't black people. And for the most part, it wasn't a Scotch Irishman either. It was people that, go back to the Middle East. That's who it was. Without them, it wouldn't have happened. That's just historical fact. So instead of arguing me your feelings and giving me open-ended questions instead of actually making a point, when you get off a panel, go study this up. Go study up who the people were that were leading the civil rights. LBJ signed that Civil Rights Act, and he said, we'll have them N-words voting for us for the next 200 years. I mean, who picks King and Jackson and Sharpton and the rest of them to be black leaders? Who picks them? I've never heard a black person say they got some kind of ballot in the mail to vote on who was going to be their spokesman. Who picks them? The white liberal, most of which go back to the Middle East over there. That's just historic fact, man. I ain't trying to put nobody down, man. And on another note, culturally speaking, my granddaddy could suck a ham hock till it was white and the ants didn't have anything left on it to eat. So that's culture, man.
All right, we have comments. All right, we have comments. All right, so yes, if those have fallen to the excuse of finding perspectives rather than look outside but within themselves, we can actually make a change for the better. We only control ourselves, not what's outside of us. Shout out to Jason. Also, John West said, what the F is, he just said, chaotic is tripping. A lot of people got critiques with chaotic. Let's see, Robert says, T. Reason is not very versed in black culture. Sounds like he's speaking about white people that get into rap music or white rappers. It sounds like he's mad that white people, are coming out of the woodwork sounding better than most black artists today. Chaotic Truth clearly has an understanding and a grasp on other cultures outside of the History Channel. Why is this guy so resistant? Shout out to my guy. Hey, freshly sniped. It doesn't exist. Cultures are superior based population, wealth, power, etc. There are people of all colors of the world round who feel superior, but without the way to enact a superiority.
They're just
superiority.
I.e., racist poor rednecks think they are superior to black people, but there's no white poor, uneducated white person who lives in a trailer that is actually superior to a Jay-Z or a Chappelle or a Michael Jordan purely based on skin color.
Appreciate that. I have to best say you're doing your thing now, Chaotic. I'm over here looking like a proud stepfather. Shout out to Help the Bear. All right. I think that's one more. T Reason said T Reasons could be learning something, and instead he's worried about how not to be wrong. Shaking my head, man.
If I could say something real quick, I ain't offended or nothing, like T Reason gets, but just for freshly snipes out there, redneck ain't got nothing to do with being ignorant and living in a trailer, man. There's lots of us, man. There's lots of us. We are just a spectrum of personality.
Shout out to Dane Truth. Nuke scorched the earth. Shout out to my guy Dane. And Ashley said, can I get on the panel or what?
Yeah, send the link,
yes, All right. That's all the comments. Let's get back into it.
All right, yeah, you gonna send the link? Yeah, we probably should have posted the link a few times anyway. Last time we had a full panel. So
I didn't know this was open floor like that. I could have been sending a link because I think.
Oh yeah, well, hey, we'll send the link to the people right here.
At least half the people in chat are coming from my channel. I'd have done sent the link.
Yeah, I would have. I don't want T Reason to be T Reason. How you feeling over there, man?
I feel great, man. I love where I'm at right now. I'm finna put them in the skillet. I'm finna cook them right on up.
Hey,
I'm getting my bacon grease going right now. I'm ready to go. Let's get it.
All right. Well, yeah. So let's go ahead and get to the next one, Enos.
All right, next topic. All right, fellas, but play this video.
Nipsey Hussle. Let me give you my Nipsey Hussle story, if you don't mind.
Yes, please.
So I'm getting on a plane from LA to New York, and I'm getting into my seat. Walter Mosley, the great writer, is on the right. Van Jones on the left. I'm on this plane, and this young man gets in and he says, excuse me, are you Michael Eric Dyson? I said, yes, sir, I am. He said, wow, I read your books. I said, are you Nipsey Hussle? He looked at me like, he said, yes, I am. I said, and I pulled out my iPhone and I had his latest marathon playing right there. He was like, oh my God. I said, oh, I ain't talking to dog. I live it. You know? Right. And so for 4 hours, we had a nonstop conversation. Right. Mostly led, by the way, by Nipsey Hussle. Wow. His intelligence, his curiosity, his wanting to know things. You're right, to pick my brain, ask me certain things, respond to certain things. A remarkable, remarkable human being. Right.
Okay, so question for the panel. I don't know if Perspective's going to be coming on here, but hopefully you got to see that part at least. But it says, why are rappers like Nipsey Hussle spoken so highly of in the Black community? And I just we'll start it off with Wade.
I have heard
California
the name
love,
Nipsey
baby.
Hussle. I have heard the name Nipsey Hussle, but I don't know who he is. I've never heard any of his music.
Okay.
So I can't really speak to him in particular. So I'm just gonna bow out for now.
All right, sounds good. T Reason.
Because I mean, he stood for a lot of things. He represented a lot of pillars. He had strong work ethic. I mean, the main thing that I think Chaotic Truth might like about Nipsey Hussle was his entrepreneurship. So the thing about Nipsey is he believed in having a product and monetizing that and not just being a rapper. You know, he had other avenues. He was very deep in thought. He wanted to do a documentary on Dr. Sebi. He had a lot of good things that he represented, and he came from what would be considered true, genuine Black culture. A lot of the things that Chaotic tried to call out as a negative, Nipsey took those negatives and he turned those things into something positive and proved that where you start is not where you finish.
Okay, all right, Chaotic. Why are
Low
rappers like
IQ.
Nipsey Hussle spoken so highly of in the Black community?
And I actually like Nipsey Hussle, but to answer the question,
Sorry to interrupt you. I just want to make sure, because sorry about that. Wait, I didn't even explain
Yeah,
the
go ahead.
video. I should explain the video at least a little bit. So that was the Drink Champs. That was Michael Eric Dyson, a scholar. He's written on a lot of different topics. You've seen him probably on the different news stations at different points in time. He's a professor, written a lot of books, and he's also he's a Black intellectual who speaks on things, and he's done classes on people like Jay-Z and Nas, and he's talking about Nipsey here. So he's a Black intellectual who's extolling the virtues of Nipsey Hussle. Sorry, Chaotic Truth, go ahead.
I like Nipsey Hussle, but to answer the overall question, low IQ. Rap is easy. It's just nursery rhymes. It's not sophisticated music at all. It never has been. And it's easy for people to relate to individuals that are obviously on a pedestal in terms of the media. Architecture is hard. Engineering is hard. Science is hard. These fields are hard, and oil rig working is hard. So, of course, these people are not going to be at the forefront, like an Aliko Dangote. He owns several oil refineries in Nigeria. Of course, you would never hear about him, right? Because oil to gas is a process, right? So, unfortunately, this is a continued, it may be a continued culture. It will be continued. The pedestalization of these entertainers. Entertainers should never be pedestalized, man. So that's what I really believe. That's why they're spoken so highly of, because it's easy to talk about them.
Got you. All right, Dane, how about for yourself?
Well, I think that in large part it's because of what T Reason named off about Nipsey Hussle. Now, I didn't even know the guy existed until he died. Okay, but look at this gray in my beard, right? And then once he died, people were coming out talking about him like he was some kind of fantastic leader in the Black community, a role model, example. They did the same thing when Tupac got killed and everything. Tupac over there becomes such a hero for the Black community that he acted like a gangster rapper, but he was a gangster actor and that sort of stuff. Why is that the case so seemingly in the Black community, being your question? I think it has to do with a lack of fathers in the Black community from about the late 70s, early 80s onward. And so I think in the Black community, there are young people who are looking for the things that T Reason just named off. They're looking for that. So when someone shows up and they're exemplifying that, they're going to gravitate to it. See, but there are many Black people in the economy who are engineers and physicists and so on and so forth, but they're just not promoted within the Black community. When Dr. Ben Carson was in the news and everything, of course, he was a Republican. He's on that side of the world. he was jettisoned, so to speak, from the black community because of that. And I used to work for the school district, and I saw so many black parents that would just devote so much time and money in football and basketball, or their kid being a rapper, something that they have a better chance of winning the lottery. But that was a focus, that long shot. Why? Where are the fathers in the community? And as a little asterisk, as fatherless homes become more and more common amongst the white community, they head in the same way. They head in the same way. It ain't a black thing. It's a patriarchal thing. Where are the patriarchs? Patriarchy is ruled by the father. So where are they at? Where they at? When I was young, the black people I grew up with, they wasn't going down that road. The neighborhood I lived in Virginia, where my family was like 4 little marshmallows and a bowl of Cocoa Puffs, those kids went to school year round. I thought it was the craziest thing. A friend of my brother's, Randy Copeland, graduated when he was 16 years old. He lettered in several sports. He went off to the University of Virginia. He's a physicist today. If you found him on Facebook, it'd say Young Black Physicist is his name. But that is an exception within the black community that you see in the media that's looking for the star athlete or the rapper or entertainer. Where are the fathers? Randy had a father. We all got Randy had a father in the home.
Yeah, I got a few things. I could tell this panel has no idea who Nipsey Hussle is. Even Chaotic Truth has no idea who Nipsey Hussle is or what he stood for. He is a community activist. You know, he had programs to get people into science, mathematics, all of these great things that the panel is saying that he should have done. He actually did do. So I would challenge you guys to actually find out who Nipsey Hussle is and what he actually stood for. And then also Dane called him a poser. He said that he was a acting gangster. He was playing gangster.
I did not.
You said he wasn't.
I don't know. I told you going in that I didn't know anything about Nipsey Hussle until he died. I said Tupac claimed, act like he was a gangster rapper, but he was a gangster actor. Tupac, because he was an actor. So was Dre, Dr. Dre. Also, he came out of World Class Wrecking Crew with his eyeliner and his makeup and all that kind of stuff. And then he gets in NWA and he hard. He a G man, ain't nothing but a G thing. Well, ain't nothing but a fake thing.
I'm just trying to follow your reason for bringing that up when talking about Nipsey Hussle.
Because
so you're trying to make a comparison to the two and trying to say they're similar or the same?
Because I'm saying that setting up entertainers and celebrities as a role model for your children is a fool's game.
No, not in this instance. And I think that's where you're struggling. I think that's where you and I disagree.
What got him in front of the parents as to be a role model? What got him? That he could entertain. You called folks a clown earlier. That's what a clown is. He's an entertainer.
Not Nipsey Hussle. I think you misconstruing what I meant by that. So the thing with Nipsey Hussle is the way we learned who he was the fact he was a rapper. But once we look into what he was actually accomplishing, he was accomplishing things that are much greater than just being an entertainer. He was a philanthropist. He was someone that was active in his community. He spent a lot of money towards schools and education for his community. And he preached entrepreneurship. So it wasn't about that he was preaching gangster this and gangster that. He actually spoke against violence. He actually spoke against gun violence. And he actually stopped the Bloods and the Crips from shooting at each other in many instances. So that, like when he died, they were able to have rival gangs in attendance that would have normally killed each other on sight.
So let me just give a little context to Nip and feel free to add anything more.
Because they have no idea who he is at all.
Just, I told you that going in. I told you that.
He said that going in, and Wade made that clear too.
But Chaotic should know a little bit more because he spoke so negatively on him.
And it's Chaotic said he liked Nip. Chaotic said he liked Nip. So
he still said he was a bad example though.
Sorry, real quick, I just want to give a little bit more context so everybody else can be informed and the audience included. So, like, Nip was married, he was a husband. I don't know if he was a father. Was he a father?
Yeah, he had kids.
Yeah, okay, he was a father. He was a musician. He was a rapper. He was also a philanthropist. He was an entrepreneur. He was in real estate. He was also a gang member, Rolling 60s Crip. since he was a kid all the way up until his adult time period. So that's all the full. That's a somewhat of a decent picture of him. So that's why the question is there, because he's somebody who was a gang member, who's somebody who had street credibility, and I think his OG or whatever they call him, his higher up is a Big U, who's I think dealing with some legal stuff right now, but that's who he was. And so the question is how does a guy like him make it to where a guy like Michael Eric Dyson, a black intellectual, who preaches who teaches at the university level, that he would speak about him in such high, lofty language like that, being that this guy was a gang member? We'll go ahead, Chaotic Truth. You have something?
Dane and Wade, you guys are white, correct?
No, I'm Scotch Irish, but that's a whole other debate.
Okay. Y'all got added into the white collective recently, I believe.
For the purposes of today,
unlike UT Reason, I don't let people tell me what my identity is. I'm a man. Go ahead, Chaotic.
The global oil industry is about $5 trillion. Agriculture and food is about $8 trillion globally, right? Technology and semiconductor industry is $8 to $10 trillion annually. Let me ask you a question. Would you rather listen to a member of, and I'm not knocking, I never really listened to Sting, but would you listen to a member of Sting trying to kick knowledge to you about semiconductors?
You talking about, I believe Sting, I didn't listen to that music growing up. That was my wife's music. I make fun of her every time it comes on the radio. I say that's rich white girl music, but I get your point. He was, I think, the lead singer of the Police. But if I'm understanding your question correctly, would I rather listen to somebody say like Sting, give me knowledge about entrepreneurship and business, or would I rather listen to somebody who's talking about popping caps and that kind of stuff, right?
No, what I was asking, would you rather listen to an actual individual who knows about semiconductors or a white entertainer telling you about semiconductors?
Well, of course. Yeah. You have to weigh whether or not that person is even qualified to speak on the subject. But that's something that comes from a masculine mindset. So I got you now. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Everybody's got an opinion, but then when you start pressing it to find out how it is they know what they know, a lot of times you'll find out that they heard somebody who said, and the reason I say that comes from the feminine mindset. I'm not beating up on women, right, but there's not a building on the planet that was built exclusively by women. Why? Because they think about that. It's about their feelings and everyone feeling included, and everyone they don't want to be felt shut out or held down. Whereas men develop a hierarchy. If you and I, Chaotic, we decided we were going to go about a task, I'm going to be watching you for what your gifts and abilities and skills seem to be, and you're going to be looking at me, and I'm not going to have to struggle to do what I'm good at, and you're not going to have to struggle to do what you're good at. We're going to naturally sort ourselves because the goal is accomplishing the task, not me and you feeling good. So when that feminine mindset is running the family, when there ain't no father in the home to establish that hierarchy, you end up with them looking outside at people like Nipsey Hussle and so forth, this establishing a standard as far as masculinity goes. See, that's
I think you're still missing the point, and I think you way off topic. But the point is, we trying to say why Nipsey Hussle became a pillar in the black community as far as somebody to look up to. Okay. And the reason why he was looked up to is because of his entrepreneurship endeavors and his success. It was not because he was a rapper or a Rolling 60s Crip. It was because he was actually a successful businessman. It was because he was actually doing all the things that you guys are saying that a man should quote unquote do. He was doing those very things. And I think if you actually knew a little bit more about Nipsey Hussle, you would speak a little more highly of him than you are right now. If you actually, yeah, you would. I promise you.
I don't exalt men. I am a man. A man exalting another man is a little homo. That's a homo direction. I don't exalt men. I can have a lot of respect for chaotic truth up here, but I'm not going to be exalting him. No, that's what women do. I'm going to establish a hierarchy with him.
So you won't give someone acknowledgement. So you lack the ability to acknowledge someone's great qualities or good qualities.
You hear what I said when I first went to respond to this? What did I say? I said the reason he's elevated in the black community is because of a lot of things that T. Reason said he did, because there's so many single mother, fatherless homes in the black community. And so those children grow up without masculinity in their home. So they're drawn to it. I did not deny anything that you said about him was not meritorious. I'm speaking to the prompt here of why is it that so much of the black community is drawn to that and sets up Nipsey Hussle, a criminal, as some sort of role model, and not a physicist, an engineer, an architect, a successful businessman? That's the what we're speaking to. We're not speaking, but see, the feminine mind looks like, if you're not supporting me and bragging on me and respecting me, then you are disrespecting me and putting me down and coming against me. Masculinity understands the hierarchy. So when I don't celebrate him and talk about what a wonderful guy he is, you hear that I'm disrespecting him. I'm not. I acknowledge what you said, mainly because I don't know any different. So I'm just going with what you said. I didn't deny that. I'm not putting him down because of it.
That's not the issue. The issue is when you discredit him and try to say he's meritless. That's the issue. It's not none of that whole single mother home thing. That's not the case, because you have people who are not from single homes that still look up to Nipsey Hussle to some degree. And the reason why is because he goes against the stereotype that black men are lazy, they're not successful, they're not entrepreneurs. He literally defies that stereotype, and that's the reason why we have these. It's the reason why he's been such an example and a pillar, is because he defies the very mainstream media appeal that black men are dangerous, burglars, and they'll steal from you and all of these different things.
That's what the hip hop music celebrates. I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna shut up. One more thing, and then I'm gonna shut up.
Yeah, Dan and Chaotic and Wade. Okay.
One more thing. The first 2 times Donald Trump ran for office, Big Daddy did not vote for him. I took a lot of crap from my fellow people on the right because I wouldn't support wouldn't support him. Why wouldn't I support him? Was it because I didn't support the Second Amendment and the family, all that kind of stuff? No, the man is an unrepentant pornographer. He's been married however many times, all of those things. Well, dang, we're not voting for a pastor. We're voting for the president. And I told my fellow people on the right, I've raised my 4 sons with a certain standard that is the polar opposite of that character. Now, if I step out and say, well, sometimes you got to kind of support him, what message am I sending to my 4 sons? That's a father. He's not looking for expediency. He's looking for a legacy. And so I stood there and set that example for my 4 sons. Fatherless homes do not have that in their home by and large. Why? Because you can convince a woman to spend $200 on a pair of jeans by telling her it makes her butt looks good. And she's talking about the position of the sun, moon, and the stars and how she feels and whether or not she's going to be your friend. I'm Pisces. What's your sign? That's the problem. That's why Nipsey Hussle is set up as some kind of a leader or example, because there are not enough masculine men in those homes setting a standard for those children.
All right, we got more comments. Shout out to the Lollipop said, you should be looking up to your father, not some entertainer. All right, let's get back into the discussion. I think
Vulcan, are you familiar with Jamie Dimon?
I don't believe so. I don't think so. I'm terrible with names, but that doesn't ring a bell.
He's a CEO. He's the CEO of Chase Bank.
Oh yeah, no.
Okay. He has a Harvard background.
Mm.
Are you going to listen to him talk about finance and banking, or Jay-Z? I'm pretty sure you'll listen to Jay-Z, right? But if you really,
you want my honest answer on it?
Sure.
Well, for me, I'm going to listen to them both, and I'm going to judge it because again, I'm a genetic fallacy, right? I'm not going to disqualify information based off where it comes. Now, so there's a, and I don't want to take up too much of the time because I know you want to finish building up your point, but so if I have only a limited amount of time, which sometimes I do, then I got to be more choosy about who I'm listening to and who I'm not. Doesn't mean they don't have valuable information. But if a homeless guy or Elon Musk wants to talk about SpaceX, I'm going to hear both of them out. But the thing is that, and I'm going to base it off of what I'm able to verify, what makes the most sense and things of that nature. But I do get what you're saying in a sense of who I'm going to give my ear to is going to be the person I find to be most credible and the most impactful.
Okay. Yeah, I was just asking. I was asking the question. Yeah, thank you. That was it. I was just asking.
You want to go over the Gen X?
If you want to, you can go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, no, before we do that, no, that's fine. Let's just bring in. All right, let's just continue with the dialogue. But we got Christian the Great. But
Christian
what's
the Great
going on?
What up, fellas?
Yeah, I want to give you the opportunity to kind of just share what you want to share, because I know you wanted to be on the panel. So is there anything that stood out to you? We only got one more topic left, so if you want to cover something, we got a little bit of spare time. Would you?
Yeah, I was just listening to y'all talk about the Nipsey thing and maybe some misconceptions of who he was and just what he stood for, what he was about. He wasn't about most of the things like most people in the rap culture about it. He was a lot different. He didn't believe in uplifting gang violence, and he didn't believe in exploiting, like murdering, and he wasn't that kind of rapper. He was more about building businesses and uplifting people, more somewhat of a conscious rapper, but he did also reflect on his life as a gang member. You know what I'm saying? But that was in his younger days. Like he understood like gang banging was just something that he did, that he came from, but he wouldn't advise the next person to do it. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't say like it's the thing to do. It's just something that he did. You know what I mean?
But anybody have anything they want to add or take away from that?
I disagree with that.
Well, yeah, but you're not part of the panel, so I was like, but go ahead. I guess go ahead.
Yeah, what do you disagree with?
That he didn't believe in gang violence or promoting that lifestyle.
No, I said he didn't believe in promoting like being a gang member. He didn't say, go out and kill niggas and join Rolling 60s Crips and be a part of this gang. He wasn't onto gang shit. It's what he did with his life. Okay. Like most people that come from that culture, like real gang members, like some people gang banged because of what their neighborhood, to fight against other people. It wasn't. So when you get older and you mature, you don't want to say, hey man, I want to promote everybody joining Rolling 60s Crips. It's the way to go, man. Come join the family. He wasn't on nothing like that. That was his path, but he wasn't promoting that openly at all.
So he knows, why are you disagreeing with them?
I disagree. I say this. I do agree that maybe he didn't verbally say he's promoting this. Maybe. But I know as far as interviews and things like that, but in his music, he promoted. He wear a gang affiliation all the time. And you can see videos of him saying, I'm not a rapper, I'm a Roller 60 Crip. That's what he identified with first before he was anything else. So to me, that is a form of promotion.
So where like where are you saying that? Where is that? Like what song or like what do you? I don't know what you're arguing.
All his albums, every single album, he's promoting his gang. Every single album.
Okay, so what do you give me some examples? Do you have any examples you can kind of give me?
Like songs. What you mean examples as far as lyrics?
No, like so. Like for instance, I'm thinking like this. You're saying that you disagree with me, so I'm expecting you to present a case.
Okay, all right. So I elaborate more about it. So I used one of the examples I used is his music. You can do lyrics like "Murder Sprees for the Set." That was on rap niggas. Other songs like.
Hold on, is that sufficient right there?
Or, what does it say? What does it say?
Murder Sprees for the Set. Set meaning the Crip gang. That's in rap niggas.
So what does he say? Like,
he's
so like,
bragging like this is serving fiends on the set, murder sprees for. I'm not the title of the song is "I'm Nothing Like You Rap," so he's identifying this.
So do you not say? Do you not use the word niggas?
That's a question for me. You said, do I not use?
Yeah, I don't know if you're going in and out or you just not saying the word. I don't know if you're because I'm trying to put it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. So you also.
All right. So the song "Rap N-Word." Let's just say that the rap N-word, right?
Yeah, he says I'm nothing like you rap niggas on Victory Lap.
Yes, that he says the song is about him not identifying or not being a rap N-word.
Hey, baby, hand me your cell phone real quick.
So
so the lyrics are saying? You're saying in those lyrics he's promoting in rap and okay, so he says
gang culture.
Okay, so that's what so if he said that, then that means he promoted it because he also said other things. So like, so you're saying just because he said that he dealt with murder sprees for the set that he's saying that other people should do that? Is that what you're saying?
No, this is what I'm saying. I'm saying that that's a form of promoting the gang lifestyle when he's saying those things. I'm not a rap dude. This is what's going on in my set. He's promoting gangs. His gang.
Okay, I mean, I wasn't aware of that. I'm gonna look up the lyrics right now. What do you think about that? Anybody else have anything they want to say to that?
I got a question for you. Would that change your position if that's once you look up the lyrics and see that he's doing it? Would that change what you're saying?
I don't think that he promoted that. I'm looking at what if he said murder rate increasing if I snap. So he did say things that he would do. He wasn't promoting other people to do it. What I said was he wasn't openly promoting saying, hey, join the gang, do that, come be a part of the gang. He wasn't promoting. When I say promoting, I'm thinking like if I promote, I go hand out a flyer and I say, hey, come to my spot, man. I got this new vegan restaurant. I'm like, come be a part of it. You know what I'm saying?
So how you define promotion then?
There we go. So I just gave you the example. Are you saying that's how I define it? Or are you kind of?
No, I'm asking. I want to make sure that I understand what you're saying.
Promoting is inviting others.
Okay, I got one. I got one that was him promoting.
Okay.
So, and now where did it go? Hold on. There it is.
Well, I also want y'all to know that there's levels like so.
No. This one's legit.
Yeah, I got you. Hold on. There's certain points of people's lives. Like, yeah, I'm not saying he was always this person, right? But he wasn't promoting gang violence. That wasn't his thing.
And here we go.
Okay, go ahead.
From his Last Time That I Checked song featuring YG, he said, young ends in the set that's doing it makeshift. Out the garage is how you end up in charge. It's how you end up in penthouses, end up in cars. That's saying if you bang, you're going to get set up. That's absolutely promoting the lifestyle.
I'm not. I don't. How are you?
How do you make the connection that that's promoting it?
Promoting is just supporting.
That's the guys that are doing this are going to end up in charge. They're going to end up in penthouses and end up in cars.
He's just telling you something. He's just telling you a story. He's not saying he's not.
When he's the one sitting there singing, saying, if you join this life, you're going to end up rich and famous.
I don't think he said that. That's not what I don't think that's what he said.
That's exactly what he said. How do you
think that's your interpretation?
End up in penthouses, end up in cars. It's how you start off a curb server, end up a boss. It's how you win the whole thing and lift up a cigar with sweat dripping down your face because the mission was hard.
Okay, right there. He's telling a story about what he did.
No, he's saying other young ends as in the set that's doing it makeshift. He's talking about them doing that.
So what did he say? He said, with sweat dripping down your face because the mission was hard. Is that him speaking? Well, my question to you, okay, I heard you. Let me talk 1 second. So if he ends his statement telling you sweat dripping down your face because the mission was hard. Is that him relating to a story of something he did about the mission?
It doesn't matter.
What? Well, that's what I said. That's why that matters to me, because I said he would reflect.
It doesn't matter.
Well, what I
he's
said
saying
was
that's
he
what
reflected
did.
on stuff
It's
that he
still a
did.
promotion of that lifestyle.
Okay, I don't think that's the definition of promotion. If I tell a story like, "Hey, man, I used to be a,"
He's
if
saying if you do this, you'll
definitions.
end up in charge. You'll end up with all the money. You'll be the boss. It's how you win the whole thing. He's telling them it's how you win the whole thing, not like how I won the whole thing, but how you win the whole thing. That is absolutely promotion.
So let me ask you this: can you use the word "win" and in a context of already had did it for yourself? Because just because he used the word "win" in that context doesn't mean that
he used the words "you win." It's how you win the whole thing.
Can I come in here and make a point?
We don't have to spend too much time. I want to go over these lyrics first.
He would say, "That's how I won the whole thing," and lifted up a cigar. But that's not what he said. What he said was, "It's how you win the whole thing and lift up a cigar."
Literature is complicated though, and rap lyrics is poetry. I'm not defending Nipsey Hussle because, like I said, I didn't know anything about him until he died. Okay, but here's the thing.
I think. Hold on, he got the whole verse wrong.
My point to you. Hang on, let me finish what I'm saying. I'll take but just a minute. I want to take but just a minute. Okay, all right. Mark Twain wrote The Adventures of Tom Sawyer Huckleberry Finn. His book is banned today in a lot of school districts and libraries and such, because one of the main characters was a slave named that they called N-word Jim. Okay. And because of that, they banned his books, because people who read his book read it for the surface level of the story. And they say that it's racist and it promotes racial stereotypes. People who understand literature and they understand what Mark Twain was saying, they'll see that N-word Jim was the only character in the whole story that had any nobility, honesty, dignity, and integrity to him. So even though he was called that, when you look into what the story actually is, Mark Twain was making a statement actually against racial stereotypes. And I think that's one thing in hip hop music sometimes it gets lost and mixed up and misunderstood. Yeah, now, I don't know about Nipsey Hussle because I didn't watch your stuff.
I agree with you, I agree with you, Dan. But some words are just word for word.
I get
metaphors. Some things is very direct, and that's
now. Hold
on. Let me say this. As far as promotion, the way I'm looking at it, simple definition term, promotion is just supporting it. He was clearly supporting gang culture. That's why I'm saying he wore the paraphernalia. He wore the actual.
And I have another example that's very
okay. So we can get all kind of scattered. I wanted to say this. Hey, Enos. Oh, in verse 2 where he says murder sprees for the set nigga. Yeah. So if you read it from the beginning, the full context, he's telling a past story.
Okay. So
chopper to his face. Now that's a rap, nigga. He's not killing nobody right now.
Yeah, but that's would you?
Okay, hold on. I got you. That's just one thing.
Okay, well, here's another one. Hold on. From Young Ends featuring Puff Daddy. When you start killing shit and they all witness it, money grow faster than ends could spend the shit. Open more businesses with you and your ends.
So when he says
telling people that that's how you get more money and open more businesses is to start killing.
Okay, so let me tell you 1 second. You look like a Caucasian. So when he says start killing shit, he's not talking literally killing shit. When you start doing good, when you start wrecking, when you start killing, when you start doing amazing things.
Okay.
That's what that's saying. What do you think about that?
I will agree on that one. You still got nothing on that first lyric though.
If I could say one more thing.
Again, so hold on, Christian, just so that you understand. At the very beginning of all this, I said that I didn't know shit about Nipsey Hussle. So the only thing that I know about him is what I just looked up when y'all started talking about lyrics. So I just looked up for lyrics.
I'm not tripping.
I think you struggling with what the meaning of his words is saying, and I think that that's the reason why you feel so strongly that he's promoting gang violence. But people who understand the culture, people who understand hip hop, they know that that's not what he's actually doing. From somebody that's on the outside looking in, that's the way you would interpret it. But if you actually look at this song, he's actually telling a story about his life.
No,
He's actually, if you read down a little further, you'll see he's actually telling a story from his first person perspective. And when you tell stories, you go in and out of first person perspective into what you're reading into is that he's telling other people to do that, but he's actually just telling a story about his life. So I think that that's where you're struggling with it, is like you think that that's his message, but it's really not.
If I could say something maybe to bring it back to the actual prompt, as interesting as this conversation has been, the original prompt was the question of why is it that that the Black community looks at this as a role model, and I would contend that it's because the things that it sounds like Nipsey Hussle is trying to.
Nipsey's not a role model,
and such is because of the lack of fathers in the home to tell their own children these things day in and day out and model that in front of them. That's why they're drawn to that.
I disagree with that.
Well, listen,
of course
Nipsey Hussle's not a role model. I don't think. Oh, go ahead.
But I'm just saying that was the prompt, though. That was the question, though, was why the Black community is drawn to that.
Why are they spoken so highly of? Why are they looked to as role models in the Black community? And you're saying that he isn't a role model. We tend to agree. He shouldn't be a role model.
Well, I don't know if he in our culture, in our community, Nipsey Hussle's looked at as a role model. I don't think so.
So I wouldn't know.
That's my opinion, but I do want to address this though, because at the beginning of this whole thing, Enos had mentioned this song. So throughout this song, he says, "Beat the case, that was that, nigga." That's clearly a reference that, like my boy said, you jump from third person to first person. So
okay, fair enough.
He says, "Beat the case, that was that, nigga." So he's talking about previous. This is the story, Enos. And so then that's later on, he says, "Murder sprees for the set." He says, "Told the world, look, I'm back. Signed my deal, then I'm cracked. They folded, so I left." He's not talking about anything, promoting anything right now. Enos, what do you think?
There are several interviews where he actually sits down and tells his perspective, and he doesn't promote his lifestyle. So he's countered a lot of these things we're arguing about right now in long form.
Okay, I'm noticing we have different ways that we define promotion. Would you agree promotion is advancing gang culture? Would that be considered?
Well, I don't know. Y'all can post. Can you post a definition? You're the narrator or whatever. So post a definition, but I want to know what you think about beat the case, told the world I'm back, signed my deal, then I'm cracked. So he's clearly not talking about present moment, right? Would you agree or disagree?
Are we gonna put the term up, or what are we doing right now? Just want to make sure. I know you want to. I can just read it. We don't have to.
Yeah, read it, James Forrest. I mean, Vulcan, read it.
Yeah, I'll read it so that y'all can keep on the conversation going.
Encyclopedia.
Oh, you still got it?
No, I'm looking for it now.
Go ahead, James,
I didn't hear exactly what you said, that you was going to pull it up.
Yeah, so I'll read it right now. Promote. This is just the Oxford Dictionary. It says further the progress of something, especially a cause, venture, or aim. And it says to support or actively encourage. So further the progress of, support, or actively encourage.
Now, I don't know. I can't say with a clear conscience that he's doing that. So, Enos, based on that definition, would you say that he's doing that?
Yes.
Through what lyrics?
Real quickly,
the lyrics, we talk about two different things.
Hold on, quick, Enos.
Okay.
So, chaotic truth, if we can just get a yes or no from everybody, do you believe that Nipsey Hussle promoted gangs or gang culture or anything like that?
Based on it.
Yes.
Okay, we got one yes.
Reason you?
No.
Dane, you still feel like you don't know enough about it?
Well, I don't know enough about him, but from what I'm learning here, because I'm listening here, I get misunderstood a lot too. So I guess it's a special place in my heart for somebody to be misunderstood. I don't know necessarily that he did, but I also know that young people that are not literarily developed enough to read, to do a proper critique of the lyrics, may have received it as a romanticization of the gang and poverty and hood lifestyle. So that's my position.
What about you, Wade?
Yeah, I'm going to go with something very similar to what Dane's saying.
Okay.
Because again, I just started looking into the lyrics tonight. So I can't, I'm obviously not a scholar when it comes to his lyrics. But then again, neither are all the people listening to the lyrics. They are not literary scholars.
So you're saying yes,
but yes or no? Okay.
So
anybody else?
Great for you? Yes or no? You think he's promoting gangs or gang culture? Christian the Great?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I'm sorry.
Okay,
no.
so yeah, just so we got it right there. So Chaotic, you haven't said much yet. You want to go ahead and why do you, because you said he is, you want to share right now why you think he is?
Did he openly ever denounce it?
Who's that a question for?
Yes,
Anybody?
he did.
Yes.
I can answer that. Yes, he did.
Oh, he denounced it.
He didn't ever say go do this, but also I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, what I mean is, did he denounce his affiliation as a gang member?
No,
I don't know about that.
No.
Oh, well, okay. Well, that's
no. He didn't repent. He didn't say I'm not going to join the gang. But Enos, I want to give you one more thing. I'm sorry, Vulcan.
Hold on, Chaotic. Were you done with your point?
Yeah, that was my question. If he didn't openly denounce
it, he did denounce quote unquote the game. So he did denounce drug dealing.
But he was still an active.
You can't just get out of a gang. It don't work like that. In that culture.
Are you accepting that, Chaotic, or no?
I mean, I like Nipsey Hussle, man, but he again, I'm not gonna listen to Nipsey Hussle about banking and finance when I could listen to Jamie Dimon. Again, man, he was a rapper. What does rap promote? Period. I mean, it still promotes street life, and he didn't denounce his own affiliation with it. So, I mean, he still was an active gang member. I like Nipsey Hussle, man, but he was still an active member. I mean, regardless of what anybody said.
Got you. Appreciate that.
Hey, Vulcan, can I say one thing real quick? Make it quick.
Go ahead.
All right. On that same song, on the same verse that Enos referred to, I don't know. I still did Enos. What do you think? Oh, you say yes.
Before you read that, Christian, I
was saying what? Oh, let me see. It says serving fiends off the steps. Is Nipsey Hussle? Was he serving fiends right now? It says serving fiends off the steps. Murder sprees for the set. He's not serving fiends right now. He lives in $1 million penthouse. That's not present time.
Is that addressing your point, Enos?
No. We're talking about
you're not addressing this point, Christian.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Is anybody else? Am I living in the twilight, or am I wrong or right? What do y'all think?
I'm tracking where you at. I'm here where you going with it.
Christian, we're not talking about when I brought those lyrics up, it wasn't about him promoting.
It was.
The first thing you said. No, you're right. It was something you said. I forget, but it wasn't
what? It wasn't what? You said, I said, how does he promote it? You said murder sprees for the set. He's promoting gang violence. Verbatim is what you said.
Yeah. That's true.
Well, how are you going to say, that's true now? And you just said you weren't doing that. I'm confused.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
So okay. Right now, okay, thanks.
Do you still have a disagreement with Christian, Enos?
Yeah, just him saying murder sprees for the set. That's clear. What is he saying that for? That's not.
He's giving. I already told you. I said he would reflect on his past gang life, but he wasn't. I'm standing on everything I said, and I think I'm supporting it. Maybe I'm crazy.
Well, hold on real quickly, because just to make sure it's clear, because I don't think the disagreement's clear for everybody.
Okay.
So I just want to make sure you're saying that if somebody's reflecting on their past, it can't be promotion. Is that what you're saying?
It can be promotion if you're giving how you promoted it in the past, yes. But that's not what he's doing. He's just telling you stuff he did.
And he's
So if I'm like, I done banged women all around the world, I done did all this, different area codes. That's not me promoting that lifestyle. That's just me talking about what I did in the past. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, that is, and correct me if I'm wrong. So if anybody wants to reprimand me, I will be more than happy.
That's definitely
That is
promotion.
what I'm saying.
I would
I
say that
think
is
that I think that we would really need to know more about is if what T Reason and Christian are saying is correct. If it's accurate, I think to really come down with a defendable conclusion, we would have to know a lot more about his body of work, I think.
Okay.
Because again, when you're dealing with poetry, sometimes it can get mushy. That's why I've offered the caveat on the whole subject.
Well, let me say this real quick. Because I can tell
What do you
Christian
think,
the Great is
Vulcan?
ready to go. I can tell Christian the Great is ready to have the debate. Is anybody prepared to debate Christian the Great or T Reason on the topic as of right now?
Yeah, I just
I'll start with you. So you prepared to
reinforce-
have the debate right now, or we got to postpone it
let's
for the
let's
time?
just
Yeah,
let's
we
just
can
debate
postpone
the
it.
song. Let's debate the song because I wasn't going to. We could just pull the song up. Matter of
What
fact,
are we
let's
debating about
do
the
that.
song? Like, what's the debate?
Well,
The
I
debate
was
is
only
a clear,
I was in the
promotion. It's a clear
making
promotion
sure I
of
go ahead,
gang activity and gang violence. He is promoting that lifestyle. That's what he's doing. That's
Okay,
what I'm
now-
saying he's been doing. He's
Okay,
been
now Christian the
consistently
Great,
doing that.
do you agree or disagree with them on that point?
I disagree with him using these lyrics as evidence of promotion.
Okay, but okay. So there was the broader conversation about does he do it in general. Now we're saying is this song specifically an example of it? Are you prepared to defend that it is that this song can be used against Nipsey Hussle in that way? Are you prepared to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, so then we got a debate. Then I was gonna move on to the next topic.
This is what I was saying earlier.
Okay,
Can
how
you
long
hear
do
me?
you need to make your case before Christian rebuts it? How long do you think you'll need?
1 minute.
Okay,
Let's
so
go
start
to
the
one
timer.
verse.
When you start talking, I'm gonna start the timer.
All right. So this is what I was saying the first time. Look, this is what I'm saying. He's not promoting rap. Can y'all hear me? Because I can't see me right now.
Your timer started. You got 8. That's 8 seconds.
All right, look, it says right here. Look, I ain't nothing like you effing rap niggas. Hustler, hustle man, a shooter. That's a fact. 32 in the extendos in the Mac. That sounds like gangster talk right here. Spending thousands in the shirts or whatever. He's talking about spending money, but that first liner just telling you I'm nothing like that rap dudes. This is what I'm doing. I'm promoting gang lifestyle.
Agreed.
That's it.
Oh, dang, he did it in 36 seconds. Okay, your
all
rebuttal, Christian.
He quoted the chorus that says, look, I ain't nothing like you rap niggas. Hustle man, a shooter, that's a fact. 32 extendos in my Mac, spend 1,000 on some t-shirts up at Saks. Is he telling others to go do that? Maybe I'm not.
If he's telling
the
others.
lifestyle.
Hold on. Okay. Can I get my 60 seconds?
Yeah, he's still talking, y'all.
All right. So he says those things, and at no point in those rhymes do I see promotion. Spend 1,000. That's what he did. Spend 1,000 on some t-shirts. 32 extendos in my Mac. He doesn't say he's killing nobody. He's just saying I have.
Hold on, Wade. He got 20 more
think
seconds.
he's
He got 20 more
glorifying-
seconds, Wade. 20 more seconds.
Well, pause that till I start. Anyways, 32 extendos in my Mac. That's what he has. Hustle man, the shooter. That's a fact. Saying what he did. I'm nothing like you rap niggas. That's just a statement. He's never inviting others to join in on his party. He's not doing the definition of promotion based on what my understanding of the definition that James read.
You don't think glorification counts?
Sorry,
as
real quick,
promotion?
Wade. I just want to read the definition one more time for everybody, then go ahead, Wade. It's promote, further the progress of, support,
Further
or
the
actively
progress of.
encourage. All right, Wade.
I would say that definition is a little bit lacking, and that
How's the definition lacking?
glorification would also fall under that. It isn't specifically stated, but
Well, we can't use your made up definition. That can't work.
How's that?
We can't use your made up definition. We have to use what James read.
Let me find a different definition.
So Enos, James. Okay, good. I'm sorry. No, I'll wait. I'll wait my turn.
All right, so more.
Enos, go ahead.
Okay, here we go.
Pause here.
Also motivate.
Definition, when it comes to semantics, the two of y'all could agree on a definition and then debate from that point.
Agreed.
But you're right. We don't get our own language.
Okay, here's what I got. Here's what I got.
This right now. I got a show today. Does this sound like present day? This you don't have to answer it now. I got a show today. This is all I'm trying to do. Hustle and motivate. Choppers a throwaway. Hustle the Hova way. This is why they follow me, huh? They think I know the way. Because I took control of things, balling the soul away. And if you pattern my trend, I make you my protege. Slauson Ave Soldier Rays. Nigga, know those days.
Hold on. Okay, can I pause it? Know those days. In the context of that, know those days. No, not know these days. Know those. That's past tense. But go ahead.
Yeah. Take you in the back of the buildings, make you expose your age. Take you across the tracks and make you explode the face. Now you official now, but you got a soul to save.
So
official now.
Okay, so he's referring to the past again, right?
Yes, promotion though. You are official now.
Yeah, I think we got two topics.
To say promotion, that's a stretch. He's not promoting it. He's just telling his life story. He's not promoting. He's just telling it. Like he's not promoting it. He's just saying where he came from. Like I think he's just telling
you a story.
Yeah, he's telling the story.
If I could say something, I made my first baby when I was 19 years old. And then because I was absolutely unprepared, my family stayed in poverty for quite a while we were climbing out. And we ended up with 5 children and all that. And that's my oldest child is 35 years old now and everything. I don't hide that. I never hear that from my children. I never hear that from anybody or whatever. So yeah, me and the way I joke around, I can tell my kids, I say, yeah, me and your mama was a couple of hoes or whatever. See, but I presented it in a way where I would then come around and tell my children, this was stupid. This was irresponsible. This was a bad idea. This was a reason it took us so long to get out of poverty. So I think what Enos and Wade are asking is whether or not, and I don't know if he did or not, because again, I'm not familiar, but whether or not Nipsey Hussle ever communicated that part of the message, because I talk a lot about mistakes I've made in my life, and there's nothing on that level, bunch of mistakes I've made in my life, but I'm always sure to point out the fact that I was being stupid. And I think that's what they're asking.
He absolutely did. He absolutely denounced it many times in many interviews, and he never wanted people to follow down his path. You know what I'm saying? He denounced it many times and said gang violence is not the way to go. Matter of fact, he was known as a peacemaker in LA. You see what I'm saying? To this day, he's still known.
Like, look, Nipsey had schools. Nipsey had schools for kids. Okay. Like, how many gang members build schools, nonprofit organizations for kids in the hood?
He probably did, but Al Capone, the people in Chicago loved Al Capone because he had soup kitchens and he provided housing and clothing and job for Al Capone. And he still killed people. So,
but I don't believe Al Capone was telling everybody, "Hey man, be a mob boss and go kill niggas and earn your keep." I don't know if that's the case.
Yeah, I don't understand what that has to do with it. But two reasons,
because that's how you're promoting.
You're saying that he said that this was a bad idea, shouldn't do it. Maybe if you could point Enos or Wade to those lyrics or those interviews or something, Enos can probably share his screen with an interview where Nipsey Hussle is saying, "Look, I'm lucky to be alive. Kids shouldn't do that. People shouldn't do that." Something along those lines. I'm just trying to.
Okay, I agree with you. But I want you to know, as people from the culture, that's all understood already.
What culture?
Well,
the black culture, the hip hop culture.
You got Enos and Chaotic Truth who are disagreeing in there. I don't know about Chaotic specifically, but I know Enos is from the culture.
But though, when you can't overcome an actual argument, than things like melanin or gender or whatever. You know, unless you have a uterus, you don't have an opinion on abortion. You know, that's all the same bull crap. You don't have any idea what culture I came from. All you can do is look and see that to you, I'm a white guy. So you making racist decisions and assumptions about me. You don't know what culture I come from. I've already asked T Reason to tell me the difference in his culture and mine, and all he could say was rhythm.
No,
So,
that wasn't all I could say. That wasn't all I could say. But
that's all
that's
you
a whole
said.
other can of worms. No, that's not all I said.
That's all you said, man. I could be.
And let's not get I know that.
Yeah, let's get off topic.
Stay
on topic.
Okay, well, hold on. I think we got some more comments. Go ahead, you know, and then I only kept it going, you know, because you said you was willing to debate it. So what you got? But go ahead, comments.
I agree with Dan was saying.
No comments? We're not doing any comments?
Yeah, you could read them. I'm gonna pull them up for you. You don't mind reading them.
Leia says, should have volunteered to read the lyrics.
Shout out to you. Yeah, you can.
Help the Bear says, take you across the track and let you explode a face. Hustle. Leia says, glorification equals promotion.
So how do you, if you tell somebody,
also says this type of gangster
I don't
rap,
think he was glorifying it. I think he was just telling the story.
10,000% glorifies violence, drug use, disrespecting women, etc.
Where's the disrespecting women come into play?
Help the Bear says, take you in back of the buildings, make you expose your age, take you across the tracks, make you explode a face. Now you official now, but you got a soul to save.
So do y'all know what let me ask anybody on the panel, do y'all know what he's talking about when he says, when he's telling that story, do y'all know what's taking place?
Look, I'm
just yes or no, just yes or no. I'm going to tell you. I want to make it quick.
I want to make
y'all
sure
know?
the comments are done. You know, so we're done with the comments. I don't know if you should look for. Okay. Help the Bear says he definitely didn't denounce it because he was still a member.
He definitely did, and he definitely gave a reason why he remained in the rolling 60s.
Sorry, real quick, TV. Leia says, no, it ain't. Don't even appeal to difference, bro. Come on.
All right, I think that's done.
That's it.
Yeah.
So I want to say this before we get back into it real quick. I only kept this going because Eno said he was prepared to debate it out. Are you still prepared to debate it out? You know, so you resting? Okay, EOS webcam utility. Okay.
Okay, but hey, real quick, I wanted to say this, James. That's what he's saying there. That whole story is gang initiation. That's gang initiation that's taking place. He's just telling you his story. He's not saying go. I don't hear him saying go do it or be a part of it. That's not what I get from that message. When I listen to the full context of when he says things, it's telling a story.
Got you. Okay, Enos, are you able to talk yet? Or
yes, okay, microphone check.
Quickly, I only kept this going because you said you would be able to debate it. Are you still going to debate it, or are you dropping it, or where are you going to stand on this?
No, I drop it on this. I'm dropping on
it. Okay. So you giving Christian the win and T Reason the win?
I have one more thing to add if y'all want to hear it, as far as like him denouncing things and stuff like that.
Can you just say real quickly why you're dropping it? Are you dropping it because they had the better points, or what's going on?
No, I don't think they had the better points. My camera's going in and out, but I don't have anything else on this.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
All right, T Reason, you got something you were gonna say?
Yeah, I just I found something that he said. And I wanted to read it to everybody so that way they could understand Nipsey's perspective. And he said, I grew up on the streets of South Central Los Angeles, and I have witnessed many tragedies in my lifetime. I never glorify any situation like this, and I think it's disgusting. Any fan of my music knows that I strongly oppose gun violence and that I represent nothing but peace and progress through hard work. That anyone can overcome adversity no matter what your social status in life, which is clearly addressed on my latest release, The Marathon Continues.
Got it. Okay. I guess.
So Dan, there's indeed. You remember, Dan? You asked about that. What do you think about that, Dan?
What I think? Well, I'm not actually a part of the debate, so I'm not here to go one way or another.
Well, you kept asking for it. You kept asking for that stuff. I feel like
that's the only reason I asked you because you asked. Dan, if I offended you, I apologize.
You ain't offended me. There ain't nothing on this internet that's gonna offend me. I'm just clearing something up. I've said multiple times.
The only reason I'm saying that, what I said, and I asked you, is because you asked me if y'all could point them in the direction of an interview where he did denounce. You said that, right? Am I tripping?
What?
Okay, Dan's gonna clear up what he said if he didn't say that.
I was talking to Enos, and T Reason, and I asked him if he could. That was not a challenge. I don't have a dog.
I know I wasn't saying it was a challenge. I was asking your
part
opinion.
of the reason that there's a misunderstanding is because you and T Reason want to talk over folk and don't let us get finished saying what we're saying. Okay, I don't have a dog in this fight. I was trying to help you and T Reason and Enos to stop talking past one another by offering a suggestion that the claim that he spoke against it would be a lot more powerful if he could do because Enos up there is pretty doggone good at this. I know he talks slow and he looked like a T-Move version of LeBron James, but he up there, he know this, and that's why he's putting all those lyrics out to support his argument. So I was actually trying to help T Reason, and I guess by extension you, by saying maybe if you could come up with it, and show it like you just did. Me, I'm well known for being misunderstood because when I speak in word pictures and that sort of stuff. A minute ago, I told you that I was honest with my children about, their mama being pregnant with my oldest son before we got married. And what did I say? I said, yeah, man, me and your mamas was a couple of hoes. Well, some people could look at that and say, man, you shouldn't be so disrespectful to women. You referred to her being hoes, and they get their panties in a wad. So I'm understanding the argument that y'all are making. The interesting thing I think here, or one of the interesting things, is y'all think that I'm somebody for y'all to come refute. And
no.
That's not what it was.
Y'all make your point.
No. We just asking. We're just asking if that satisfied your question. Because you spent a lot of time asking for this proof. So we're just saying.
No, I spent 2 or 3 sentences. The one you need to be asking if it satisfied their question, because I was not debating with you, is that dude up there, T-Lou LeBron, he was the one challenging you.
Can I say something?
My camera's working now.
Can I say something? I just want to say, Dan, the things you're assuming, I wasn't doing none of that. The only reason I asked you your opinion, just because I asked you, what do you think of that? That doesn't mean I'm coming at you. I'm just asking, what do you think about that? Because you did pose the question, did he ever, whether you were asking it for Enos or whomever, you asked it. So I was asking you in the same way, what do you think about that? I wasn't asking with any connotation attached to it.
I don't care. I don't care if you're coming for me or not. This is not this panel. As much as I
enjoy, answer the question?
As much as I enjoy Vulcan soapbox,
if you don't want to answer,
I enjoy. I'm trying to answer you. I'm trying to answer you, man. I'm trying to answer you. Okay, as much as I enjoy this panel, I love blood sport debates. So, and there is no blood sport debates on this panel. That's one thing I enjoy about it. So I want you to come at me. I want you to come at me. However, to answer your question, well, one of the questions you asked, it does not matter whether it doesn't have to satisfy me at all. I actually wasn't even listening to what he was saying because I'm not interested in Nipsey Hussle's lyrics at all. I was trying to help y'all.
All right, listen. Let me listen before my camera go. I think we should be good. We don't have to spend too much time on this.
So, James, did he drop it or no?
Yeah, are you done with it or no?
No, we're not done with it.
Oh, so are we the debate? Did we open the debate back up again?
Yeah, let's open it back. Let's spend.
Okay, do you accept the T Reason and Christian? Do you accept the challenge or?
No, I don't. I'm good.
Okay, they don't accept the challenge.
Well, hold on. What's the challenge?
Well, let me just do my closing statement.
Enos initially said he was done with the debate. We had another topic we're going to go into about.
I'd rather just move on.
We can move on. I think we had good dialogue, and hopefully we got our point across.
Yeah.
We ain't trying to beat a dead horse now. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Right.
James, can I say something real quick? And I hope I don't offend nobody. Since I'm less melanated, I had a guy last week call me non-melanated or albino. But since I'm less melanated, I hope I don't offend nobody. But if I do, I don't care. But I think that it is a fabulous testimony of the diversity of thought in the Black community that we have Black people on this panel who are ardently and very committedly taken up in defending two diametrically opposed positions. I think that's just a good thing, man, because when white people disagree, we'll go at it. There is no social pressure to go along with other white people just because of whatever. So, I think it's great. I think we need a whole bunch more of this.
Hey, my shirt's black. I'm brown, but yeah, I hear you.
Appreciate.
Well, I ain't white either, man. When I'm white, we turn purple when we die, but you get what I'm
You know what I'm
saying.
saying?
That's why I
You
say
know what
I'm
I'm saying, Dan? You feel
That's
me?
why I say I ain't white, I'm Scotch Irish, man. So
You feel me?
All right, so okay, we got the last topic of the night. Anybody who's got to hop off, feel free to hop off. It's the last topic of the night. And is there a video associated with this one right here? You know?
Yeah, we could play that first.
Okay.
It's one or other.
Hey, great find, T. Reezy.
For sure, for sure.
Of all black men that are killed are killed by of all black.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, you can let that one off.
That's Farrakhan, isn't
it? Back to the question. So, was Charlie Kirk's criticism of black people or black culture a good or bad thing, and why? And I'm gonna start with you, T. Reason. If you can just do this in a minute or less. Was Charlie Kirk's criticism of black people, black culture, a good or bad thing, and why?
Man, that's a question with a loaded gun. I think we got to actually think about what we got to talk about the specific statement. I think that's too vague and that's too big of a scope for me.
Okay. Wade, what about yourself?
Hey, you know what? Me and T Reason are going to agree on this.
Whoa!
Too big. Yeah, I would want a specific critique that he levied before I would say it's a good or a bad thing, you know, because Charlie Kirk said a lot of things about a lot of people.
Yeah, that's fair. Everything ain't for everybody. Dane, what about you?
I think we get into a semantical issue here, but he was 31 years old, right? I got 2 kids older than him. So he grew up within the hip hop fatherless generations in the black community. So if the culture that he was criticizing was that hip hop fatherless glorification of poverty community, which is really what we're talking about, is cultural issues and not race issues, then I would say yes. If that's what he was, maybe he just did. I've said on this podcast before, most people talk about, white people talk about how black people live and black people talk about how white people live. But when you talk to them, you find out that almost none of them have any actual deep developed friendship relationships with the people in the other group. And you can't get a real idea of what it is by looking up stats. There are 3 kinds of lies: damn lies, and statistics. So, that's my position. What he said was probably accurate, but I don't think he knew enough about the actual boots on the ground. His feet probably ain't never been under the dining room table of a black woman. That's what I'm talking about. So he just departed.
Yeah, the truth. What you got?
Charlie Kirk was an underperforming white man who was masquerading as a part of the elite white society in which he was not a part of. He had an odd obsession with blacks, and there are so many blacks that could clean his clock in a million times over. There is a issue in the country with this obsession with black culture from non-blacks, and a lot of it is for clickbait, rage bait, and there are so many problems that he himself had within his own community that he should have been focused on. To be completely honest with you, man. Yeah. But on that note, guys, I gotta get up out of here, man. Salute everybody on the panel.
Hey, Chaotic Truth, before you go, man, I want to say I never thought I was gonna agree with you, but I agree wholeheartedly with everything you just said, man. That really shocked me. You know what I'm saying? I'm surprised. I like your stance on
man, I'm an equal opportunity racist, man. I really don't like I don't like none of humanity, to be honest with you, man.
Chaotic.
Hey, that's a good take, though. I like that take you just had, man. Real talk.
Thank you.
Chaotic. I've enjoyed being on the panel with you. I think you have some great things to say. I've already subscribed to your channel. I look forward to watching some more of your content. And I like that you're fair and balanced. You know, like in the beginning, I was thinking Chaotic just grifting the white people, because some of the stuff you were saying about white people, I'm like, what is he talking about? But I do like that some of your takes was balanced. I do the same thing. I make as many of my conservative friends pissed off at me as I do people on the left, depending on the subject. Why? Because I'm a man of principle. You sound like you're a man of principle too, no matter who it associates us with or separates us from.
Definitely appreciate
it so much.
Hey, before you go, Chaotic, I just want to read you one Charlie Kirk quote. If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified.
Yeah, again, it just goes to show you that he had an odd obsession with black people to the point that that his own reality was very skewed. Most of the commercial airline plane crashes have been, if it's pilot error, it was a white pilot. So I don't even know what he's talking about. I can't recall any black pilots
But that statement had to be
responsible
in
for.
context. He
That
was
was
talking
kind of
about
taken
DEI.
out
Well,
of
he's talking
context.
about, yeah, I know he's talking about DEI overall, but the thing of the matter is that what about all the plane crash? We didn't have DEI in the 60s and the 70s, and planes were crashing in record
Well, I'm not
numbers in the
agreeing with
70s.
Charlie
So,
Kirk. I'm not agreeing.
yeah,
Charlie Kirk
okay.
didn't mean it like that. But I'm not saying that if I saw a black man walking in the cockpit that oh my goodness, do I need to, go ahead and tighten my seatbelt tighter? I'm just saying that in his that was within this statement he was making against DEI.
Right.
And what he was saying is,
Yeah,
with
yeah,
that
I
in
got that part.
consideration, he's going to wonder.
It
well,
makes
is
him
that
feel.
Yeah, he wasn't saying that the black pilot, of course, he's not qualified. He's a black man. That wasn't what he was saying. He was saying because of the context of DEI, it would make him question. Honestly, I would feel the same way if I saw a woman going into the cockpit. Maybe I'm a misogynist. Maybe I recognize patterns.
If I'm dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman, I wonder if she's there because of her excellence or is she there because of affirmative action?
It's on you, Christian the Great. It's on you. So,
what was the question again, Vulcan?
Yeah. Put it back up.
Got you.
Was Charlie Kirk's criticism of black people or culture a good or bad thing, and why?
Let me see.
Was Charlie Kirk's criticism of black people, black culture, a good or bad thing?
I don't know if it was good or bad, but from my perspective, it wasn't knowledgeable.
Okay. All right. So yeah, and so this question came up. Just give a little context because, of course, we get sent videos all the time, and there's a lot of stuff circulating online. And one of the things that I've heard over and over again is that Charlie Kirk, similar to what Chaotic Truth said, had a very negative perspective on black culture, and he was detached from it. But he had some kind of odd obsession for it. He was always speaking negatively about black culture and didn't really speak about white people or white culture, however you want to word it. And so that's where this question came from. So if y'all are familiar with it, do y'all think it was healthy, or was it good, or was it bad, or was it neutral? If you want to add that one in there, and then why? And I think I know T Reason has a lot to say as far as like the Charlie Kirk in general. But and then you read some quotes, Christian the Great. So and I know Dane was focused on the context. So do you believe those quotes are indicative, or was it negative criticism towards blacks? Like that was inappropriate?
I don't know about. Yeah, I would say overall, it's.
Did y'all take any issue with those two quotes that were read out?
Yeah,
I did because the one was out of context.
At any time, I think it's it could be offensive to certain people. Like if I was like,
you're not saying, are you saying it was inherently offensive, or just it could be offensive to some?
It could be offensive to some.
Okay, so it's not necessarily offensive.
Nah, not necessarily offensive. It could be offensive.
Was it necessarily offensive, or those quotes that he gave, or?
I think they were offensive. Absolutely, they were offensive. I don't like either of those statements, and I think that those were divisive statements. I think
they were very. We can't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Yeah, I think his statements were divisive. I think they were calculated statements. I think they were designed to attack DEI, and I think that when you make a critique, you can do it two different ways. You can empower and uplift through the critique, or you can diminish or be divisive. And I think a lot of the stuff he was doing was to diminish and create division between people where there was none, and he created a lot of doubt where there was no need for that.
Okay, I know, Wade, you said something was out of context. You want to finish?
Yeah. So the quote about the pilot is definitely out of context. It was in the context of he was saying, if these DEI policies are enacted, then when I see a black pilot, I'm going to have to wonder, is that guy qualified? Not that's what he says now, because those DEI policies are not in effect now. But what he was saying is, if these DEI policies come into effect and we start giving black people the job or from giving them the pilot's license above people that are qualified, because his point was that DEI puts people in positions that they are not qualified to be in. That it's the opposite of meritocracy.
That's not true.
Is that cleared up for you, T-Reason?
That's not true.
It doesn't matter whether that's true. That's the statement that he was making.
No. What I'm saying is he didn't even understand the DEI program enough to speak on DEI.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
No.
It does matter because
you have no what he understood. You have no way of knowing that.
Yeah, I do. Because exactly what Wade just said, it's not what DEI does. So he misinterpreted DEI and then
real quickly, T-Reason, do you know why Wade is saying that it's relevant?
That's what DEI does. That's what his point was. So to take his point, he was making the point that DEI does this bad thing, right? Whether or not you agree, if
he's saying it's a straw man. He's saying you're a straw
man. Doesn't matter. Then his next point was, if this bad thing that I'm saying DEI does happens, then I'm going to have to worry. So it doesn't matter if that's actually what DEI was going to do or not. The point was that's what he thought it was going to do. So then if it did that, then he would have to worry about whether or not that pilot was qualified. So that's the context behind it. So when you understand the context behind it, whether or not you agree with him that that's what DEI would do, that changes the whole offensiveness of the I'm going to have to worry about whether or not that black pilot is qualified, because it was his point that DEI would be putting in unqualified pilots based purely on race.
Okay, so let me say this: DEI only exists because there's racism. So I think what you're saying sounds cool. It sounds good in theory, but it's how can I say it? He's saying we have to make sure these amount of blacks are employed. So him having to do that kind of exposes his dislike for blacks.
I don't want to have another DEI debate tonight. We already did that once tonight.
Well, I'll respond for you, Wade, if you don't want to have.
That quote was taken out of context. That was all I was trying to say.
Regardless of whether the quote is taken out of context, we have to correct the quote, and we have to say that the quote was not even standing on solid ground to begin with.
Of course,
because what he said and what he thought DEI stood for were two totally different things.
So he's quoting something that doesn't make sense.
It's very misleading. It's very misleading to take that statement at face value without first saying that he was wrong for making that statement, because what he believed to be true was false. So we have to correct that narrative so that way we can understand.
Let's let Dan get in there now, T-Reason. You made a good point now. Dan, go ahead and get in there.
He was exploiting his own racism.
What's misleading is that Charlie Kirk, a relative minority of people in this country, even knew who he was until he got shot. And then people came out of the woodwork misquoting him, like what Wade has pointed out and like what I pointed out earlier. What's misleading is that people have used those out of context quotes to give you a certain perception of Charlie Kirk. I would wager, you'll probably tell different, but I would wager that you haven't really consumed a lot of Charlie Kirk's content. It's got nothing to do. What Wade told you that Charlie Kirk said was on solid ground, because Charlie Kirk was speaking about what he would think or feel or might would if he were in a certain situation. It was a hypothetical that he was giving. He was saying, if this is true, he didn't say it was true. So when you say he doesn't understand DEI, he wasn't claiming how DEI is.
Yes, he was.
He said, if this is true, well, then this is probably how I would react to it. That's all he was saying. That's all he was saying.
You accept or reject that, T-Reason?
I don't think he was creating a hypothetical. I would need to see proof that he was creating a hypothetical and that he was basing it on something that he knew was not true to be DEI.
Well, let me interject here.
Because I believe he knew what DEI stood for.
Are you able to put that quote up on the screen? Is that possible? Yeah or nay is good. You're on mute.
I'm sorry, that was message somebody. What's the question?
Right now there's a conversation happening, a disagreement about whether Charlie Kirk's quote about the airplane, pilots and stuff like that was that a hypothetical or not? Are you able to put that quote up on the screen?
Okay, let me find that.
Okay, so I guess he's saying he can do it. Okay, so sorry, Christian, you had something you wanted to say?
I don't recall. I was just kind of going to comment on. I found some more quotes that are just absurd, but I was going to say what
Let's
T.
go
Rizzi was.
Let's go. We're on this hypothetical one right now.
Okay.
Let's hold on before we do
No, I'm
that.
good.
Maybe it may not be hypothetical.
Hold on before we do that. I've seen those lists of Charlie Kirk quotes, and they're almost always wildly taken out of context, and it would take far too long. Look how long it's taken us just on this one that is very obviously out of context, and that we can immediately put into the context that it was, and we're still fighting over it 10 minutes later. Some of them are the context is a lot harder to see.
Good point. Good point.
So hold on. So let's stay to this one topic, and let's understand something. Charlie Kirk was versed on a lot of things. So what you guys are telling me right now is that you believe Charlie Kirk wasn't versed enough to know what the DEI program was created to do, and then he made a statement counter to the way the DEI program actually works and is actually implemented.
Again, I don't want to get into another DEI conversation.
This isn't a DEI conversation. This is about Charlie Kirk, what he said and what he believed to be true.
Because you're making the statement, you're trying to say that DEI doesn't do that. And I violently disagree with you on that. I think absolutely 100% DEI is racist, and it absolutely does racist things.
Okay, so let's talk about that.
Because you believe the Google definition. And I'm telling you that I still, even after our disagreement from earlier today, that you did not change my mind. And I still believe the actual implementations of DEI.
And we need to work toward fixing that if that is the case. If that's the case, we fix the program. We don't scrap the program, but that's a whole nother argument.
Not the point.
But listen to me. Listen to me.
Charlie Kirk also believes, as I do, that DEI programs were inherently racist and they were always implemented in a racist way. Charlie Kirk believed that. I've seen enough of his stuff to know what he believed on that. And he truly believed that DEI was racist.
It's crazy. It's crazy. That's a crazy take to have.
Onto the whole DEI conversation again tonight.
Okay, well, I'm gonna keep it real simple. I'm gonna keep it real simple. It's crazy to believe that because his own example doesn't back that claim. If DEI was doing what he said, we would see way more black pilots. We would see like 50% representation, and we'd see a whole bunch of planes crashing from black pilots, and you see a whole bunch of underqualified men, women, and children in the cockpit flying around in planes. That was his very example that he used. And you're telling me somebody as knowledgeable that has access to as much information as Charlie Kirk has is going to use an example that doesn't even back up his own claim. That is just mind-blowing to me because the statistics themselves, the hard paper doesn't even back up his claim that these black pilots would be underqualified and underperforming.
If DEI programs got into pilots, if we started choosing pilots using DEI programs, which we don't use pilots. We don't use DEI anything to pick pilots. Pilots is 100% merit-based. It's exactly what Charlie Kirk wants. It's exactly what I want.
That's not accurate.
Exactly what you want.
I don't know about that.
You decide you want to go to pilot school, and if you make it through, you graduate. Period. That's it. There's no, we're gonna let black people get lower scores and still graduate, like they do with college entrance exams, like they do with other stuff, where they lower the standards for people of color.
Can I ask something real quick?
If you start lowering the standards for people of color, then we're going to have to wonder when pilots come into the door, if they're a person that's of color or they're a female, we're going to have to wonder, oh God, did they really deserve to be a pilot?
Can I ask a question? Can I ask a question just real quick? Earlier in the panel tonight, I said that 75% of black children live in a home without a father. I just checked the stats, and actually I misquoted. It's 70% of black children live with an unmarried mother. So that's a little different. Okay, 47 point something percent live in fatherless homes. So, you know, my stat was a little off. You know, I was working from memory. However, when I said that, and then I went on to speak about some ills in the black community that stem from fatherlessness in the home, was I making a racist statement against black people, or was I just making a point about a situation in the black culture, even though I was being critical of an element amongst black people? I was being critical because I was criticizing the fact that I said 75%. It's 47 point something percent and 70% with unmarried mothers. You know, the father may be there, but they're not married. So the numbers are a little off. But the point that I was making was that Nipsey Hussle was such a draw as a role model because black kids and people were looking for that masculine influence that fathers would typically provide. Now, when I said that, was I being racist, or was I simply saying something critical of the black community? That's my question.
Ooh, you were saying something. You were not being racist. You were just, but it could, you were not. But let's say someone was to say what you said and then say other things along with that, that statement could be taken as racist.
Oh, it could be taken as racist. Oh,
no,
shit.
no, not yours, not yours. But
No,
if
I'm
somebody added a different statement to it, it could be.
Right. Or if it was taken out of context, that I was in the middle of a discussion about why hip hop stars like Nipsey Hussle and a lot of the other ones are looked to as a role model. See, if we didn't take the whole context of it, you know, and whatever, then yeah, it could be taken as, I could be taken as a beautiful, healthy, physically fit, athletic mamma jamma. But look at me. The way I'm taken don't mean that's the way I am. So that's what I'm trying to parse through.
Yeah.
Okay, at the end of the day, y'all stance on DEI is far from being factual based or evidence based. There's no evidence to back up Wade's claim or Dane's claim that DEI does not hire based on merit, especially when it comes. Hold on, let me finish. Let me finish a statement for a chance.
But he just put up the evidence.
No, I'm not done making my statement. You can't give evidence on an incomplete statement. I'm talking about specifically referencing pilots.
Nice.
So if you're gonna provide some evidence right now, hold on. If you're gonna provide some evidence right now, it needs to be in aviation that has to do with black pilots.
I think he was saying Enos is going to put the quote up.
Enos put the quote up.
Yeah,
and it was about American Airlines specifically saying women and people of color were going to be 50% of their pilots in their pilot school, which means that they were going to have to disqualify qualified white men in order to promote women and women and people of color.
Well,
that's ignorance. That's ignorance. That's your ignorance on right now. That is pure ignorance.
Let me help you.
Y'all statement you're using ignorance right now.
One at a time, y'all. Let's go ahead.
Let me help you. Let me help you, T Reason. I would hope that by now you'd know that I'm a fair, principled man, even though you and I disagree. Wade, I understand what you're saying, and I understand what Charlie Kirk was saying in a hypothetical sort of a situation. However, that policy from the airline did not mean that there was going to be qualified white men passed over in favor of black people or women.
That's the only way you can get to that
number. No, it's not. See, for you to say that is to say that there are not black men or women who are qualified. No, what Charlie Kirk was saying was that it would make it possible, and that the government's policies or this company's policy would make it where that would be more of a goal to that it would be a danger that they would be passed over. But when you say that means there's going to be white men that get passed over, you can't support that logically. I understand that that's a valid fear, but that's
there's also something else you can't support as well, Dane.
What's
there's
another
also
way they would get to 50%?
The DEI
color if they're not at that number now, naturally.
No,
Well,
that's not true. That's just not true. You just lack the understanding to understand the parameters.
How else
Your
would they get to
parameters
that
are boxed
number?
in.
I'm asking you.
Your parameters are very boxed in.
How
You don't
else
have
would
the
they get
full
to
scope.
50%?
You don't have the full understanding. You can't even grasp the concept completely because you're being given information and you regurgitating the same information that Charlie Kirk was dishing out.
How else would they get to that number? Please tell me.
Because there's a number of qualified candidates that are waiting in line.
You would have to assume, Wade, that there's not enough
saying
women.
that right? No,
There's
hold
not
on,
enough
hold on.
women or brown people out
So
there.
you're saying
who would be
right now
qualified.
there are qualified women or brown people
Now
that
you're
are
arguing
not
like
getting
TV.
to be a pilot.
Now you're
because
arguing like TV.
So what I'm saying is there is a barrier of entry.
What
I'm
barrier
saying
of
that I'm saying there's a barrier of entry, meaning that they have to meet certain standards and criteria before they would be given the position.
That's
So
not a
before
barrier.
those
What barrier?
That's
is
not a
stopping
barrier.
that?
Flight
That's
school,
not a barrier to entry.
becoming
There's
a
not
pilot,
barrier to entry. There's
Right,
okay.
so what-
I am
going
300.
through pilot school, going through aviation.
I am 300. I am 327 pounds. Are there barriers of entry that keep me from playing in the NBA? No, I'm not qualified. There is no boundary to keep me out of the
barrier
NBA.
of entry is you wouldn't.
Yeah, there's a DEI that only 20% Caucasians could be in the NBA. They said.
I don't know anything about that. But
I'm just kidding.
If the woman,
if you were to try out, you wouldn't make the team. That's the point that I'm trying to make.
That's what I'm trying to make. Y'all are not understanding. Okay, right now, today, to get into United Airlines pilot school, 50% are not women or people of color. I don't know what the percentage is. Do any of you?
I don't think it's relevant.
We can look up the statistic. We can get the statistic.
I'm going to say it's dramatically less than 50% because otherwise they wouldn't set 50% as a goal. So it's going to be significantly less than 50% today of their students are women or people of color. Why are they not? Are there a whole bunch of women and people of color trying to become pilots that are being told
It's possible.
no
It's
because
possible.
white guys are getting it over them?
It's possible. It's very possible.
Both of y'all making bad arguments now.
Then what rule is it that's making the white guys get it instead of the women and people of color?
I can answer
well,
that.
you know who was helped the most by DEI, right?
Leah, how's it going, Leah?
Hey, darling.
If
white
there
women.
isn't a rule that's making it the white guys get promoted to pilots, to being in pilot school over women and people of color. The only way to get to 50% women and people of color is to take women and people of color who are not as qualified and put them in the school
I'm not a color
above the qualified white men.
That's false.
That's the only way to get to that number.
That's false. That's false.
If they're
Christian, is that your
So
baby,
how else-
Christian?
Please explain how else it could be done.
They would have to go through the same channels. They would have to go through the same
They already
avenues.
go through the same channel.
You don't know.
They aren't there.
Why would they set that requirement if that wasn't something that they felt they could accomplish?
He said, "Is that your
They
baby?"
do feel like they could accomplish it by promoting people that are not qualified.
No,
They could get
that's
to
not
that
true.
number.
No, you can't. So show me
same
an
way
example of
Harvard
somebody
and
they
Yale got
promoted.
their numbers.
Show me an
Black
example of somebody they promoted that was not qualified. Show me an
Nobody
example
yet,
of
because
that.
it wasn't put into perspective.
It was. It absolutely was.
But
they have been
no, it
implementing
wasn't.
DIA this whole time.
No, they didn't.
I've never seen any proof. I would need to see some proof on that because I'm looking at something. I'm looking at something right now that if we could pull this up, Enos, I think it'd be great for the debate.
United Airlines proposal that did not get approved that he was talking about. That's what we heard. That's what we saw.
They're not going to get the job if they cannot meet the qualifications. They're going to have to meet the qualifications first.
And then my old lady is part Caucasian like you.
See,
they're going to have to go through flight school and they're going to have to meet a certain standard before they even get the position. I don't know where you guys are getting that these people are going to be underqualified or underperformers.
1 minute I'm defending Wade, the next minute I'm defending you. Okay. I'll give you
Nice,
an
Dan.
example.
I agree. Dan's pretty unbiased. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is my first time
Man, look,
hearing him talk. He's pretty unbiased.
He's
Dang,
biased
dang.
against DEI, so
man,
he
I
is
just want to
biased.
know
He's
what's
Yeah.
biased
true.
against
And
DEI.
I want to live what's true.
I
Like
agree with that.
I don't care who it separates me from, aligns me to with. But let me say this to you, reason. Let's look at the Navy SEALs. Okay, the Navy SEALs. Never been a female Navy SEAL. Why is that? The physical requirements of the training. Okay, this is true throughout vocations. Okay, women moderate their body heat differently than men. They're just simply not as rugged as we are when it comes to working outside. These are biological differences. Men, not all, but most. The exceptions prove the rule. Men typically think more logically. Not you. No offense. Yeah, no offense. Yeah, no, I mean offense.
Wow.
But that's
Shots
entertainment.
fired.
That's entertainment. But men typically think more logically, less emotionally. They're more focused on the outcomes and not the experience. These things are different. So, I mean, when women aren't becoming pilots, it's not because there are what you said barriers to entry. There is, number one, women are not interested. You look at the top 25 occupations of women according to the Department of Labor. Go look it up. And it's going to be the same jobs they did before feminism came in and got them in the workplace. It's going to be things related to things they would do at home with their families. Women are not, by and large, working to become engineers or pilots or architects or that sort of stuff. The ones who are, which are a minority, they're becoming that. All they have to do is go to school and get the degrees and learn how to do it. So the reason there aren't as many female pilots is because females, and my wife retired about a year or so ago from the Chevron refinery here locally. She was a refinery mechanic. She was a pipe fitter, boilermaker, welder, all of that man stuff. For about 8 years, she was the only woman on her tools. Why? Women weren't applying. So that's the case with things like airline stuff. It's not barriers to entry. When my wife, it's well known in this area that it would take a man several applications and just about got to know somebody to get hired at the refinery, because that's probably the highest paying blue collar industrial job around here. My wife applied in April. I went on a missions trip to Mexico. She wasn't able to go because she had to do her employee physical that year. I mean, the same week. She applied in April. 3 months later, she processed in as an employee. Why was that? She'd never done that kind of work before. She was a female, and she, over in operations, there are women falling out of trees. There's so many. But in fab and the mechanics where you're pulling wrenches and you're using impact wrenches that weigh, I don't know, 30 pounds, not a lot of women. So when my wife applied to be a mechanic, they picked her up because not a lot of women apply.
Excellent point, Dana. Leah, did you want to come in?
Yeah, and STEM fields are like that too. We see, thank you, by the way, and we see a whole lot of things like nursing, teaching, serving. Sorry,
Are you at the
I'm in
bottom
my
of
car
a
'cause my
well?
kids are asleep. Sorry?
Are you at the bottom of a well? I can't see you.
Oh, I'm in my car because my kids are sleeping. So I just kind of snuck out here.
Leave Leah alone, Wade. First of all, she got a man and she one of my friends, okay?
Bottom of a well, I can't
pretend
see.
like we didn't see Dave talking about that mute button again.
Are you at the bottom of a well? I can't see you.
Yeah, a little bit of a whale.
That's
yeah,
pretty
we see
prophetic right there, isn't there? Bottom of the well, I can't see. That's pretty prophetic.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, let's talk about Jonah. No.
I'm not flirting with Leah.
I see a whale, not a well. I'm with you.
I'm
with
in
you.
there a little bit.
I did want talking about that though. Also in STEM, even when they open jobs up and try to hire women, like they give them bigger bonuses, like sign-on bonuses, and have incentives that they create to try to get women into the workforce. It's really hard in some of these fields, like Dane was talking about, to even incentivize women because they're so disinterested. It's not the fact that even the work is hard, as they just don't want to do it, right? And that more applies to women than other groups of people, obviously, but Dane's 100% telling the truth. And as it relates back to Charlie Kirk, I've had this debate with quite a few people of all skin tones.
But you
And
haven't
for some
met T
reason,
Reason yet.
hmm?
So you haven't met T Reason yet.
Oh, well, I love meeting new people.
All right, man. I'm about to bounce like a round ball, man. It's been real. Hey, man. What it's only
Is that baby?
Tuesdays? Huh?
Christian.
Is that baby?
Yeah, that's my
you know
baby.
what I'm about to say. I'm about to say, man, I done raised 5 of them, and I raised them hands-on like that, man. I made more bottles than most women. And I'm going to tell you, man, very few things make my day more than seeing a daddy who looks very comfortable holding and take care of his babies.
Nice. Likewise. Does this.
Congrats.
Hey, but we nurse around here. But yeah, I feel you though.
Beautiful.
That humid area when you got them up next to you and they're going to sleep and it gets that humidity going on there.
Skin to skin, you feel me, Dan?
I'm with you. We got 5 of them, man. My wife would be happy right now at 53 years old if she was pregnant again.
Nice. You should have some more, man. Why wait?
Well, she had a hysterectomy, so if she gets pregnant again, I'll be rich.
Oh, wow. Nice.
I
want
that,
real, man. Hey, it's only on Tuesdays, Vulcan, or what? That's it.
Tuesdays, 8:30.
Hey, man, why don't y'all look, man? All good podcasts don't do once a week, brother. Man. Y'all been doing once a week for like 2 years, bro.
They got jobs, man. They got jobs.
No, they don't. I know these niggas in real life.
Look, man, go subscribe to my channel, man, because I don't have a real job, and I'm gonna try to be doing a lot more of these over on my channel, man. And I like people who will challenge me to stand up and defend my position. I don't live in an echo box.
Nice. Hey, Dan, I do want to clarify this before I go. The only reason I asked you when he read that interview is because you had mentioned, did he denounce it? I don't know who you were asking for, but that was the only reason I asked you what you thought. Yeah. Just so you know.
Enos can tell you, because last time I helped him out a little bit with Wade up here too.
He needs a little help, man. He be in and out like his signal.
He needs a lot of help, man. But what I'm saying is, like,
my guy.
The last panel, I helped him out too, man, because I'm focused on truth. That don't mean that everything I say is true, but it means I believe it's true.
Yeah,
so, I'm
hey, Dan.
to help him defend his position against Enos, kind of like a debate teacher.
Yeah, hey, Dan, I want to tell you some history. Enos, I trigger Enos. You notice he's never just jumped on somebody's throat who just jumps on the pod and I want to debate him. Has he ever done that?
No, I was thinking when he was going back and forth with you earlier, I thought, man, because I come from the blood sport debates, which this ain't no blood sport here. This is just a heated argument. But when I saw Enos coming out and holding up, I was like, ooh, look at LeBron, Timu LeBron over there.
Hey, you're promoting teasing you're promoting teasing with that statement.
Me hold on, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I said, yeah, me and Christian, we're gonna have a scheduled debate. I don't know when we're gonna have it, but that's gonna be my sparring.
So Dan, you see how he's just in the business of telling me what to do? Like
we agreed to this. We signed the contract.
No. I already signed off that debate. You made a bogus ass point as usual. Retracted your statement as usual because you be speaking too fast still, and you had to retract your statement.
No, I'm talking about in the past. I'm talking about the past.
I'm talking about the present. You retracted your statement about the murder sprees.
No, sir. I didn't retract.
Don't worry, we got this all recorded, and James is gonna call me on this. You did retract it.
No, I said I didn't want to continue. I said I still stand on promoting the game coaches wearing game attire. That's still a promotion. That's endorsing. I'm still standing on that.
Despite what T Reezy read, you're still gonna stand on that.
So you don't believe wearing affiliation is not a form of promotion?
He wore all colors. He wore every color.
No, I'm asking.
He wore red. He wore blue. I got pictures of. You can go on YouTube. Nipsey wasn't actively rolling 60s, bruh.
Look. I'm going to extend the invitation.
We wasn't saying actively. We said promotion. We just focus on the terms. You have another conversation. I'm not asking if he's wearing other colors.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
Dang, now his signal went out. But
yeah, seriously, he knows I'll be happy to host it on my channel and moderate it, man. I think that'd be fun to watch.
Man. Yeah, we do. We need that. But me and him are supposed to debate some some months ago, but it never happened. But
the Leah down here, my friend Leah, she came in there. She got a history in like formal debate, which is something that's a lot more refined than you or I are involved in. But she got a history in like formally trained debate. So, she probably would have a lot to offer, even though she in the dark.
Yeah.
I'm not always in the dark. Dane's seen me in the light.
Okay. But yeah, I think we have fun. We go ahead and close it out, man. Let's get everybody to do their closing statements, man. I didn't intend oh, okay, there we go. I intend to end it so soon, but let me start off with Wade, man.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. As it's been fun again. So yeah.
Did you change your mind?
No.
All right. Let's bring T Reasons in. Dane, I'm sorry.
Oh, me? Well, that's all right, man. All them black and white people look alike, right? I guess it's easy to get us confused, But I enjoyed myself. I always enjoy this panel, which is a shock to me, because the first time I met James when he came on the No Fugazi podcast, which Leah is also very familiar with, he seemed to be kind of reserved and stuff. And I thought, man, I'm gonna go on the podcast and everything. I'll enjoy it, and from the first podcast, it was a lot of fun. I've said before that I enjoyed that it's a lot more formatted, it's a lot more controlled or whatever. T Reason is still dumb, but I'm working on him. Wade's got some good points, but Wade gets fast and loose with his terminology sometimes. And when you're dealing with debate and engagement with worldviews, it's important that what you say means what you say, and you don't say things that are not true or not provable, because if you do, then the person, your opponent, is going to beat you over the head with it and make you look bad, even if your point is true. T Reason won't, because he's T Reason and everything. As far as changing my mind, I don't think anybody changed my mind on white privilege or any of that kind of stuff. But the information, because like I said, when it first come up about Nipsey Hussle, the information, like I said, when it came up, I didn't know a whole bunch about him till they got killed, and it wasn't something affected my life. So I'm like, oh, that's unfortunate. He got killed, and I went on with my life. But the things T Reason and Christian have said has got me considering, maybe so. Don't ban me, Enos. Don't ban me, man. I'm just being real. It got me considering, because for 54 years, I've been misunderstood with the things that I've said, because I write a lot. I don't write poetry because that's a little sissy to me, but I write a lot and such, and I speak in those figurative terms sometimes to make illustrations to help people understand the depth of what I'm saying. And I have constantly got people that misunderstand me. So if that's what's going on with Nipsey Hussle, I'm open to hearing that. Maybe that's the case. I haven't listened to enough of his music to know or whatever, but I'm at least, my mind has been changed enough to say, well, maybe there's something I don't know about his body of work. Now, I'm not going to go check it out because it's just not in my radar. But as far as that, yeah. But beforehand, I thought, well, that's just some gangster rap or whatever, and moved on. So, yeah, if you want to call that change, I won't say change my mind, but it has influenced it a little bit. And I'm glad Leah come up, because Leah, she got a lot to offer, especially if she turns the light on. Wade is bald-headed. So that's all I got.
All right, let's go. Pronounce it Leila. Leila? Leila, I'm sorry about that.
Leah.
Right.
Oh, you're fine.
Thank you for coming on.
Yes, thank you for having me for a few minutes. I originally wanted to come on to talk about Charlie Kirk. Maybe we can do that another time.
We got to run it back. We got to run that back.
Yes, I
Well,
pretty
why don't both of
staunchly
y'all come on my channel this week and we can do that?
Okay.
I'm
I
down.
love me some Charlie Kirk. I sure do. And I'll have light next time, like all the light.
Better lighting.
All right, my guy T Reasons.
All right, man. I gotta say it's been a great panel. It's been a great debate. It's been a great pod. I like a lot of the conversations and the topics that we got into. The brother who just left, I agree with pretty much almost everything he said. I like having Wade on. When he first came on, his mic wasn't working and we didn't get to duke it out then. But I like Wade as a person, even though I disagree with a lot of his political views. I think Wade's a great guy. Dane's starting to grow on me. Having him on here, he's starting to show me he's more knowledgeable than the big oaf he comes off as. And some of his statements do pack a punch. But I think that if he were to look into DEI a little bit more, and I think if we would have showed my article, it would have deaded the whole pilot DEI argument completely. And I think it would have shut him down to where he would really have a different outlook on the program, what it stands for, what it's doing in actual implementation, not in theory, but actual implementation. But I like the fact that you and Vulcan have put together a pod where difficult topics can be brought out and we can really dive deep into them, and we don't shy away from no smoke, man. So, I think it was a good pod. I like being on here, you know what I mean? And at some point, we'll really get into the nitty gritty, and I think it was a good pod today. So,
man, thank y'all for all coming out. And for the audience and for the panelists, that was our goal. Our goal is to really exalt logic and reasoning. It's not tied to any culture or ethnicity. That's in the universe. That's something that's divine. So this is the Vocal Soapbox. We advocate the diversity of thought, disciplined reasoning, and we want to promote the science of elevating your thinking. The science of how to think, epistemology, the fundamentals of logic. You should be keenly aware, and I know I experienced it, be aware that our minds are inherently lazy because our minds are built to be efficient. So sometimes naturally we want to find shortcuts. Can't do this on that show, and that's why I want to promote. I've been a victim of that. I've promoted and advocate ignorance and not wanting to get closest to the truth. I want to just be comfortable in my cognitive biases and allow that to control my life in a lot of ways. And I thank a lot of y'all for coming out, helping me be consistent and be held accountable to be obedient to those laws of nature. I mean, not nature, laws of logic. So again, thank y'all for coming out. Shows every Tuesday, 8:30 Central Standard Time. Please like and subscribe, and that's it.
Can I say something to T-Reason real quick? Don't go nowhere, T-Reason.
I'm right here.
Go like my channel. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Facebook. Same name down here, Dane Snyder. Seriously, Bear. We can do some stuff between you and Leah, you and other people.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you that my debate's a little more blood sport, which you may be good with. It's a little less refined, a little less controlled.
We don't duck no smoke, man. We always down to have some dialogue. We always down to have a great debate. So I look forward to it.
Going over there like my channel, but as far as me growing on you ain't the first person to tell me that. But then again, so does cancer. So keep that in mind.
Oh, wow.
Touche.
Until next time. All right. Y'all wild.
Later, fellas.